first Region 9 head-to-head game, Andy, of the season.
Yeah, I can't believe it's already here. It's amazing how fast that preseason goes, but we're finally into games that matter, and can't wait. This should be a good one.
All right, pregame, the Simister Orthodontics pregame show, again, a fan favorite for over 20 years where amazing smiles happen. Find them for more information at simisterortho.com and get your free consultation. Well, the two teams coming in are both coming in off losses, Andy, and both coming in with 1 win and 2 losses in the preseason. But I got to tell you, I'm not going to go back and look at the preseason and try and compare the teams this year.
No, you can't. I mean, the team Hurricane lost to Moapa Valley, a team they play a lot. Desert Hills goes and plays Mission Hills, a team they don't play a lot, and just played a team that's maybe a top 100 team in all of the country and lost 42-7. So they're coming off that one. And then, Hurricane the week before played a team they didn't know very well out of California in Christian and gave up 60 points and lost big in that one. So finally they're back to playing a team on each side that they know a lot about.
Absolutely. And, of course, if we look at Desert Hills, they started off the season with just a barn burner here and had it going on. Unfortunately, I guess they had their kick blocked. Is that right? In the overtime.
Yeah, that's right.
They lose to Jordan by 1 point.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to, I think, surprise a lot of people around the state. Jordan, a preeminent, big-time school in the upper divisions. And that game, I think the Desert Hills crew knew what they had in Noah Sewell and expected him to maybe be as good as he was. But I know that was a surprise to me. He came out right out of the chute against Jordan and then Salem Hills and was putting up huge numbers. And then had just a tough matchup last week against Mission Hills.
Yeah, and obviously when you follow Desert Hills, you follow the Sewells, and it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
We'll get into it a little bit more, but as I was talking with the head coach of the Thunder, I just said, so can Panay really play with that arm like that? And he put it up, and he goes, okay. He said, it's locked in. It can go up this far, over that far, and that's about it. He goes, that arm is locked down. And then he grinned, and he goes, even at that, he's probably better than 6 other guys at 100%.
You're right. Well, that's what Coach Frankie said. I think after week 1, he told Devin on his show, hey, the Alabama offensive line coach watched the film and said this kid played better than any of our other prospects with one arm, so he's really come through. Because when news first came out, we thought we were going to be out the season, but he's gutted it out and played very well for the Thunder.
All right, welcome to our pregame show here tonight. Let's take a quick 1-minute break. We're going to come back. I did have a chance to talk with Coach Frankie. Got some thoughts he has on the key of the game, and just looking forward to tonight's matchup with the Hurricane Tigers. I believe we have our national anthem coming up, so let's make this a 90-second break, and we'll be right back.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Information on hot water heating.
No. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out the words.
World music, playing track now.
No.
Let me try. Our daughter gets confused about which details in a story are important.
Which paper towels are most absorbent?
What?
Here are 5 product reviews.
Why are you not getting me?
See, I told you.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
There is a place where rocks bleed and nature blushes on a battlefield green with envy, where dimples determine destiny and a tiny wooden teeth holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where friends are opponents and opponents are friends, where the prize is elusive, the conquest is captivating, and the score isn't settled till the drinks are down. There is a place.
All right, once again, we welcome you back here to Desert Hills High School, and we welcome you back whether you're joining us tonight here on the radio on 97.9 or 97.7 ESPN, SouthernUtahLive.com, Sports Radio 977.com, and of course CEC TDS Channel 22. I think we just about got them all covered here tonight with this one. We really appreciate our all of those folks stepping up and making this possible here tonight. Let's take a quick look at the Camping World keys of the game. And as I mentioned, had a chance, I just got to talk with one of the coaches, Frankie. But when I asked him, Coach, keys, and of course he's like most of them, he goes, oh, they stay the same. They're the same. Then he stopped and he looked at me and he goes, finish.
Yeah.
Our guys have got to finish offensively, defensively, no turnovers, play it, leave it on the field. He goes, he felt like not that they didn't try a week ago, but he says we got to do a little bit better job.
Well, I agree with you, and I agree with him because watching just a little bit of that Mission Hills game tape, really, Panay Sewell can play with anybody, so he was fine.
Right.
He looked like he belonged. Brock Perry had a really good game, but everybody else was just kind of there. And against even a Hurricane team that they're very familiar with, have got to play with pep and with toughness here tonight.
Yeah, he said that, again, you never know, but he felt like there was a couple of spots in the game last week where he said we were like, that close. Yeah. And if we'd have got the first down or we'd have gotten the stop, he goes, it could have really changed the tenor of the entire ball game. Toughness he wanted to see out of his kids, and he says the other thing is, I want to see how my kids respond coming back this week because, frankly, we took a whooping last week.
It's tough to come a team that's used to winning almost every week to go and lose 42-7 on the road to come back against a team you're supposed to beat. Will there be a hangover? Will they be rearing and ready to go? I expect the latter, and the talent definitely favors Desert Hills in this game. But will, as you brought up and as he brought up, will they finish tonight?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you your thoughts.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance about a Hurricane, but let's take a look. What would you say are keys of the game for the Tigers tonight?
Well, I think number one is they got to figure out a way to block Carter Reynolds and Cole Bailey on the edges. They two really tall, athletic, lanky guys, kind of in the Tyson Fisher mold over at Dixie, that are very hard to block, and they're going to be going full bore on that option to tackle whoever it is, Trayson Abbott or Tyler Moore. The end, Jaden Goodler and Eli Pert have got to figure out a way, maybe not to win those matchups, but at least get in their way and neutralize them a little bit and have a stalemate on the edges tonight. Otherwise, they can just key on Jaron Cordova all night long and make Hurricane one-dimensional.
When I asked Coach Frankie, obviously I said, okay, your opponent tonight, and again, he looked at me and goes, it's the same thing. He said, they're the same team. He says, Hurricane always tough. He said they run the same thing. You know what they're going to throw at you.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can stop it all the time. So we've got to do a better job. And he said the key he really feels like, too, in that one is we got to force them into third and long situations.
Yes, that's exactly what they need to do against any team that wants to run it 3, 4, 5 times in a row, is figure out a way to hold them to less than 3 yards on that first down. And that completely changes the entire series. And then conversely for Hurricane, they got to figure out a way against a very tough front of Desert Hills, both the linebacking core and that defensive line, to get push on them is going to be very difficult. They got to figure out a way to punch first tonight against the Thunder.
Yeah, you and I got to do the Hurricane game last week.
Yeah.
And, I think the thing that at least I was impressed, and I believe you are too, because
Yeah.
you mentioned it, and that was kind of, I don't know if it was the emergence or maybe I just got to see him, but I thought Tyler Moore really stepped it up, and even Trayson Abbott. I mean, Jaron Cordova, we knew going in, big guy, tough guy, run the ball. Those other two guys step up, and when you got a 1-2 or even 1-2-3 punch, makes a whole world of difference.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, because in the preseason it was all about Jaron Cordova. He's the guy who's going to kind of be the second option, and Tyler Moore has stepped up in every game. I think he's got 7 touchdowns already this year. As you mentioned last game, rushed for 150 yards, led him, busted some long runs on the edge, and that's really, I think Cordova will get his carries, will get his attempts up the middle, but they got to figure out a way to find seams for more like they did last week off tackle and around the edges tonight against Desert Hills.
Okay, I got to get this statement in. It's the first time I feel like it really kind of feels like football weather.
Yeah.
Right? Although it's not cold or cool, but it is much cooler than it has been. So we've had a cloudy, kind of off and on rainy day. But right now it's actually beautiful. What a great night for football here in southern Utah. What a great time to tip off the season. And we got a couple of good teams going at it. We have a couple of other games. There are 2 other region games going on. Snow Canyon is at Dixie. That's going to be great. You got 2 3-0 teams.
Yeah, the battle of the unbeaten. Obviously, different strengths of schedule in the preseason, but I think Snow Canyon can hang with them. I think Austin State is playing really good football, and Tosh Wright's running it for them. And defensively, they haven't given up more than, I think, 14 points in every game. So it could be closer than a lot of people expect tonight.
Yeah, and then you got the battle up in Cedar City. It's the Redmond taking on the Falcons head-to-head, and they're back together again. Of course, they were split up. Just had the flip of the coin. Looks like that it was the Hurricane Tigers that won the flip, and they've deferred to the second half. So I do want to mention again our coach's comments brought to you by the Locker Room. Great local company with team apparel for everyone, athletes from peewees to the pros. Boy, and I've been here a long time, and I think they've been here longer than I have, and they've been a big part of our sports coverage here, so we certainly appreciate them. And we mentioned a couple of the key players in tonight's game, our Sky Mountain Golf Course starting lineups. We're going to talk a lot more about some of these guys. I think it's really going to be, seeing how that Noah Sewell, I haven't seen him yet for the sophomore, but every time I pick up the paper after a game, I'm going, wait, is he a sophomore?
I don't think he's old enough to drive yet. He's running for 5 touchdowns a game. I wasn't expecting him to be this good. It's unbelievable. He looks like a bigger Nephi out there for number 2.
Now, and for the Hurricane quarterback, I was watching warm-ups, and they gave Adam Hayrand and Brock Starley kind of even up. So I think we may see both of those guys again tonight. Yeah,
they kind of do it by committee, and Starley comes in spot and throws it pretty well, and they don't throw it often, but either one of them, and I think for Hadron, really his biggest challenge is calling his number more and taking the ball. I think he needs to carry 8-10 times because he's one of their best athletes. He can't just be taking it 2 or 3 times a game.
All right, we're just moments away from kickoff, and it will be the Thunder, the home team. They will be receiving to start the game, having the cross-county team, Hurricane Tigers, winning the coin flip, and they deferred to the second half. So thanks again to our great sponsors. We appreciate them, and we'll be, of course, keeping an eye on the clock for you tonight. Our clock sponsor is Air Care Pros. Top quality products, competitive prices, simply great, honest service. And I can tell you, because from experience, in the middle of the summer, when you don't take care of your units, they can and do go out on you. Thank you very much to Air Care Pros.
It's been
Save my bacon this summer again. All right. Well, let's see. So we're going to see what's going to happen right off the top here. By the way, the home team in their white pants, black tops with the gold numbers. And I like that. Thank you very much, by the way, to both of these teams. This is kind of an announcer's dream. You got gold on a dark black.
Yes.
And then across the way, you've got bright red on a white top.
I feel very lucky tonight with this contrast. Yeah, it looks great.
So here we go. Tigers will be kicking off as Ethan Roberts, the senior kicker, lines it up at his own 40-yard line. And we get set to go. Here again from Desert Hills High School. Thunder Tigers Region 9 opener. And here we go as soon as the officials say we can go anyway. Thunder will send 2 men back deep, standing right around their own 4 yard line. Kick is away, high, end over end. It'll be taken at the 3-yard line. Right up the middle of the field to the 20. Gets a block to the 25. Hit from behind, shove forward, and then kind of broke a tackle a little bit. He ends up at about the 29-yard line. In fact, getting up there, I don't know if he fumbled the ball, but getting up there was Tanner Herman, who had his hands around that football.
And how about Luke Watson there with a heck of a block for Desert Hills. Didn't get a huge gainer, but already on the kickoff, Mike, very physical play right off the bat between these two. Very physical squads.
And thanks to the guys, I did watch the replay, and he did. That ball was loose. It popped out, and so thank heavens for the Thunder. He got back on it. Here we go. First offensive play. We're just underway. No score. Sewell back, looks over the middle, fires it complete to the 32, across the 35, out to about the 37-yard line. Just a simple drop back, a little pass. That's Hayden Henry with the first catch.
And Sewell getting comfortable. That's kind of his challenge this year, is getting more comfortable delivering the ball in rhythm in the pocket because he's such a good runner.
Yep. Brock Perry is in the backfield with Sewell. And they hand it to Perry. Perry trying to sweep the corner, gets the 40. Hesitation, and then bursts ahead for another 6, 7, almost 8 yards. He gets it out to the 48-yard line, more than enough for a first down.
And you can watch big Panay Sewell here on that right edge. He'll get one pancake block there on the DN, and then he goes and hunts down the safety. That happens to also be the quarterback. He throws him about 5 feet out of bounds. So two pretty good blocks there for the D1 prospect.
The one-armed guy at it again. He does it. All right, 1st and 10 as motion is Bo Barbin. And instead they hand the ball to Perry. Perry doesn't get much. In fact, he gets right back to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10 yards to go.
And Palmer Mesa, number 44, shoots the gap that time for Hurricane to get him before he could get ahead of steam, because once he does, he's always trouble for the opposing defenses. Good job there by Palmer.
So we're in the first quarter of action. In fact, first couple of minutes of the ball game, no score. It is 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Sewell steps up, gets the play, now backs up, got it out of the gun. Perry back there with him. He has some time. Now he has no time as they wrap him up, and he's going to lose back to the 39. They're going to mark it at the 40-yard line.
And Shane Farnsworth coming from the middle linebacker position on a straight blitz here. Sewell doesn't seem to be too panicked back there, but didn't have a lot of time. He's wrapped up by the middle linebacker Farnsworth, and good pressure up front there by Hurricane right away.
Boy, they got there in a hurry, didn't they? Brock Perry was kind of there and looked, and there was 2 guys past him. So brings up a big 3rd down, and it'll be 3rd and 20. About 18, 19 to go for the home team here. It's the Thunder in their home field tonight. Both teams obviously going for the first region win. Sewell is back. He has time this time. He goes up top, wide open, but it's out of bounds. Oh, he kind of overthrew his receiver. He looked up, and down there was Brock Perry all by his lonesome.
And I think he came out of the slot and somehow ended up wide open right there on the sideline. Thrown ball looked great out of his hand, just a little bit too high. You'll see here on the replay. Scans the field, is patient. This time has plenty of time, but the throw just goes a little bit too high. Good effort there by Perry.
All right, brings up 4th and long, so the Thunder will have to kick it away. Tigers hoping to get their first handle on the ball as they go offense first time. No score. We're in the first quarter. We played about 2.5 minutes. The kick is away. It's a low driving kick. Good kick, goes away from everybody. Then it rolls down. They're going to pick it up right on the 10-yard line.
Beautiful kick, a little rugby style rollout, allows the defense to get down there and gets a good bounce there for Desert Hills.
So it'll be 1st and 10. There's a flag. Hold everything. Back up around the 50-yard line. It looks like the two teams, though, are anticipating the call may go against the offense. But we're going to wait and see here. The flag is at the 49-yard line. And here comes the call. Well, it's a block in the back against the defense. And are they going to assess it at the end of the kick here? At least that's what he indicated. It was an illegal block in the back. Well, there's the indication once again, and I think that's what they're going to do is They're going to mark off 10 yards, so the ball's going to go all the way back to the 10. So the Tigers will start even a little deeper in their own red zone.
Yeah, tough call there. Makes a good punt an even better one with a block in the back. And, you know, Hurricanes struggled last week when they were in their red zone. A couple fumbles actually, Mike, and an interception, right. And now in a high-pressure situation for their first drive of the game.
Adam Hayron, the QB, starting things off. He is the senior quarterback, and he's, I'm sure, going to get most of the reps here tonight. But as Andy said, we're going to see Brock Starley as well in this one. 9:17 to go first quarter. And it's a handoff straight ahead. Not much room there. They look at the right side of that line and getting about 3 yards on the carry. I'm not sure who had the ball there, but we'll.
Yeah, I didn't see a number on that either. I don't know if it was Trayson Abbott or more on the power right there, but not much of a push. But as long as they're getting positive yardage,
right.
They need 3.5 yards per play, and they're keeping pace.
Yeah, looking in the backfield, number 4, that's H.K. Wolfgram is out there. And they want to go to the air, and now they just have to get rid of the football. And just as Hayron did, he was rocked back, and I think is that Noah Sewell in the back there?
Yeah, I think that may have been number 5.
Oh,
was that 5? Was that Jake Stokes? We may see it on the replay causing some havoc. But already so much pressure that Hurricane didn't see against Moapa Valley. We'll see it on the replay here. The end crashing down, and that's number 9, Carter Reynolds.
Right.
And then number 5 hits Hayron there. He just has to throw it into the turf.
He actually had a man open.
Yeah.
And it was number 4. That was Wolfgram, but he had no time to pick him out. So it's 3rd and long for the Tigers, finding a hole and getting close, but no cigar. On the carry there was Jaron Cordova. I think first time he's touched the ball. Cordova gets it to about a half-yard shy. It'll be 4th and short, and you would figure here that they're not going to take that gamble.
Yeah, it looks like they're bringing in the punt team this close to their own goal line. But Cordova, sniffs the first down just a little bit short on his first carry of the night. Looks like, I was expecting Trayson Abbott. Not sure what the story is on him as Wolfgram gets the starting position at tailback.
All right, so it'll be a kick coming from the goal line as the punter, Hunter Collard, into the game right now for the Tigers. 7:45, and now we have a flag. Looks like it's an illegal shift has been called against the Tigers, so that's going to cost them 5, and that'll move Collard back about midway through that end zone. Make it maybe a little bit more dicey. Thunder says, we got one guy. We're going to count on him. He's standing back right around the 50-yard line. Kick is back. Pressure coming, but he got it away. And a good kick. He kicked away from the receiver, who has to totally get away from it. Back there hoping was Gage Baird. But he realized, I got to get away from it. So not a bad job kicking from his own end zone. Ball ends up at about the 48-yard line in Desert Hills territory.
Yeah, kind of best case scenario for Hurricane. It bounced. It looked like he may have a chance to pick it up and go without a lot of Tigers down there to bother him, but it bounced away that he couldn't get it right away, and then Hurricane was down it.
Welcome to our broadcast here tonight all across the spectrum. We got you on local TV, local radio, on the internet, a couple of places you can pick it up. And here we are with 7:24 to go in the first quarter, no score. This time, Bubble trips to the near side. They go with the handoff. Getting around the corner was Perry. Perry then turned it up, and he's going to end up with about 8.5 yards. But there is a flag on the play, and you kind of get the feeling from that placement that one's coming back. And there it is, a hold on the offense.
Yeah, they like to get it with Perry with a full head of steam, whether it's from the halfback position or on the jet sweep, and just follow Panay Sewell. But this time, Desert Hills, I guess, a little handsy around the edge.
So they'll mark off 10 from the spot of the foul, which goes back inside the 40 to the 39-yard line, and that's where it'll be first now and about 18 yards to go for the hometown. I say hometown, home field. They're both hometown teams here just about. So anyway, Thunder with the football. They'll send trips to the left this time for Noah Sewell. Sewell out of the backfield, looks to his left, keeps his eyes over there. He's got a lot of time. Then he flings it up. It's complete to the 40, 35, 30. Cuts back inside. Down to the 20-yard line goes Gage Baird. And, boy, I kept looking. All of a sudden, it's like Baird was wide open right in the middle there.
And that's happened a couple times with this Desert Hills offense. When Sewell has time, somebody just happens to be 20 yards down the field, wide open. And credit Sewell for scanning multiple receivers. Finds Gage wide open there, gets a good block from his fellow wide receiver, Tate Denos, and he takes it for a first down.
Yeah, key to that one, obviously, was the time he had to check off a couple of them, go to his, looked like maybe his third hope there. The handoff goes wide, little stutter step inside. Wide has the first down and more. Down inside the 10-yard line goes Brock Perry. Boy, Perry loves that, doesn't he? He kind of kicks to the outside, and then he surveys, and as soon as he sees anything he thinks he can get through, he fires through.
Yeah, great read here by Sewell on the give. Perry kind of dekes in a little bit to get Olekin to go in, then goes around the outside, and he's so quick. If you lose contain on him, he's going for a long ways.
Into the red zone, Red Cliffs, with the Red Rock Real Estate red zone. And a handoff in the middle of the line ends up not garnering too much. I believe Brock Perry on the carry again. That time they kind of had his number.
This is kind of Noah Sewell territory in the shadow of the end zone. I don't think he's had a carry yet. Mike kind of doing the read, and he's giving it up each time to Perry. I think wisely on that one as well, but we'll see if he gets his own number this time.
Yeah, he's got the option, and he's looking, but I think so far he's chosen right to hand it off. Now they swing a pass, but it is too tall. Perry couldn't hang on. He went after it just in case it was a backwards pass, but the officials just rule it incomplete. Now, though, it sets up a 3rd and goal from about the 6-yard line. 5:36 to go, first quarter, no score here in the game.
Yeah, for our TV audience seeing that replay, that was a very close call because of how much Perry bubbled out. From our angle, it's tough to see, but the refs were on it saying it was a forward pass.
Again on the fly, the near side. They look back to the left side, and they fooled everybody, including Brock Perry. It was really way too deep for him. Yeah,
the play calls are very dynamic offense. They got people motioning, then they're throwing it back the other way. They're throwing a bunch of screens. But in the red zone, wow, with a big guy like Sewell, you'd think you just go straight ahead and try to get a push. Instead, they throw a couple of incomplete passes. Now it looks like they're forced to settle for a field goal.
Jaden, I believe it's Olekin, O-L-I-E-K-A-N.
Yes.
Olekin, the big senior. He had a big body, but it was even way too tall for him. Here comes the kick. And I thought they whistled that one dead. No, guess not. And the one official was standing right in the middle with both hands up in the air. The ball was blocked.
Yeah, that was odd. He was putting both hands up as if he was trying to stop play.
Right.
But then they went ahead for it, and the ball was deflected by Hurricane, something that Thunder have had issues with earlier on in the season.
Well, they bring the ball since the attempted kick was blocked, no good. They bring it out to the 20. I'm going to have to check with the guy after the game and say, what's this?
His hands are up so high, I thought maybe he deflected the ball, but apparently he wasn't trying to stop
He wasn't close enough.
I'm not sure what was going on there.
All right, again on the Air Care Professionals clock, 5:26 to go here in the first quarter. No score, Desert Hills and Hurricane. Desert Hills has had a couple of offensive series, nothing there. This is the second for the Tigers. And quarterback keeper went wide, turned and cut back in. believe it was. Yeah, it's Hayron. Hayron turned, got about 5 yards up to the 25-yard line. So called his own number and got 5.
Yeah, I like that. I like that call, and this worked for him against Moapa Valley with the guard from the offside pulling around, and then he patiently follows his blocks, and it's not pretty, but he gets the yards in a cloud. I guess it ain't dust anymore,
right,
but whatever that rubber stuff is, a cloud of that.
Jake Stokes with the eventual tackle. Again, this time they do hand it off up the middle and not going to get the first down. In fact, got about 3.5 of the 5 that was needed. And then getting up Tyler Moore. Now, that might be Moore's first touch on the ball tonight. Couple of yards for him. That brings up 3rd and 2.
Great job by that second level of Desert Hills. They just read where the flow goes, and then they're flying into the hole. Koa Apualu having a great game in just 2 series, plugging holes tonight for Desert Hills.
So pretty even, obviously. Nothing with 4:13 to go. Big 3rd down right now for the Tigers. As they go option, Hayron in trouble, and down he goes. He was dancing around in the backfield. He went with the fake, but the defense didn't buy it. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah, hasn't had any time, and the couple times they tried to throw it early in this game. I'm kind of surprised that on 3rd and 2 they didn't just play their game and try to get it up the middle or around the edge. They decided to throw it, and once again brought down without too much time to throw.
Yeah, Carter Reynolds, I don't think he actually tackled him, but he was the first guy there, slowed him down, and his buddies got him. So it is kicking chores coming up, and nearly blocked again. High kick, fair catch, called for and taken at the 42-yard line. So that time Gage just thought, yeah, I'll just take this one. And here we go. For the 3rd offensive series for Desert Hills, no score. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Fabulous Freddy's. They will bring you our first downs. Haven't had a lot of those either here in this first quarter of action.
Yeah, Desert Hills had 2 series where first one they had to punt, second one they had to settle for a field goal. They've got flashes of brilliance and then just can't put it together. We'll see how they do on their 3rd drive.
All right, Sewell is back again with plenty of time. And he goes up top, got a man out there. Oh, the pass went outside. Looking inside was Gage. But when he turned around, he couldn't catch up to the ball. Did have a step on the D, but didn't matter.
Yeah, kind of had to turn around his footwork. He was looking inside, as you said, Mike. And, I'm very impressed with Noah Sewell's delivery. Just been a little bit long on some throws tonight, especially on that left side deep.
As you watch him, of course, it's a little tough. It looked like that was absolutely effortless.
Yeah,
just like a little flick of the wrist, and it went 40 yards.
Absolutely. Incredible arm strength on this sophomore.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. They go with a fly sweep, but instead they hand it off up the middle. He had his foot hit, and he is Brock Perry, and that was just enough to slow him down. And they say, actually, the ball was at the 48. He ended up at the 50, but they're going to rule him down there. I'm not sure who it was, but look at that. Somebody just got him on the heel and tripped him up.
Yeah, it looked like it may have been Wes Christiansen for Hurricane. You're right. Just slapped the back of his heel, and that saved a first down.
2:40 to go, quarter 1, no score. As Desert Hills with the football, 3rd down and 4 yards to go, just short of midfield. Again, they want to go to the air, and it's going to be enough for a first down. That was a good, safe pattern. I liked it. Tate Denos really went down, just kind of curled back in, gave a great target. Nephi laid it in.
Yeah, and, for the first time tonight, kind of a route where you see your target, just throw it to him as opposed to a timing route or trying to throw it deep. And I agree with you. Great route call, just right at the sticks, and a first down. Great job by Sewell.
2:10 to go here, first quarter. Again, no score. Continuing with the football, having picked up the Fabulous Freddy's first down. Nephi rolls out. He's got time, looks deep, flicks it up there. Too tall again. He had 2 receivers down between the 5 and 10 yard line, 2 defenders, not one of the four of them could get to within 5 yards of that one.
And it seems like whenever they're calling for that deep pass, Mike, that the receivers are getting past the coverage, especially unexpectedly on first down, them going deep. But Noah just with a little too much on it once again, his 34th overthrow tonight.
It's got to be frustrating watching the replay there. You can see the helmet up, and then you can just see the head drop like, no, I'm not going to be able to get there. So that brings up a second down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 46-yard line inside Hurricane territory, and we're now under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter with no score. Sewell pitch it back, kind of a dangerous pitch. Handled nicely and finding a hole, still on his feet. He's down to the 20, looks outside looking for the corner, all the way down, touchdown Perry.
And it looks like there is a flag on the right side. Once again, what an effort by Perry to cross all the way to the other side of the field. Follow blockers all the way down for the score, but it's Big Panay standing down, putting his arms up, wondering if that flag's on him.
Yeah, and I think he is going to get that. Anybody who had a flag threw it. There's 3 or 4 down there.
Yeah, there was a flag and then a couple more that came in late. We'll see what the refs have to call here as Desert Hills pleading their case, but they've struggled with flags on that right side all night long.
Boy, they have. So the officials are getting together to talk it over. That's tough. You see such great effort, but then again, you have to say, well, maybe the fact that they got grabbed on the other side was part of the reason. I'm not sure what they're talking about. It might be placement. It could be a lot of things, I guess. There it is. It's a hold against the defense. And then a personal foul. That may be in the second flag you saw.
Yeah, it was, I think it was number 24, Chris Jansen, who kind of got pushed late. Let's see if we can spot the hold here. Panay's pushing his guy out, but his arms are wrapped around, kind of clutching the backside of the jersey. And then later on, we're not going to see it in the replay. I think a Hurricane Tiger got pushed out of bounds, maybe unnecessarily. But heck of an effort there by Hadrian to try to catch Perry, but it's all coming back.
All right, so the ball will actually go back a long way, and it'll end up at the 35-yard line. So that's a loss of nearly 20 yards on the combined penalties there. And that'll set up second down, but now half the field to go. 1:39 remaining here in the first quarter. Once again, no score here in quarter number 1.
And kind of a frustrating, I'm sure, game so far for Carl Frankie calling the offense. Plays that are there that aren't being executed, and then when you do seem to execute with a big play, and this has happened a few times, it's called back due to penalties. So struggles tonight on the offensive side of the ball with consistency for the Thunder.
All right, so let's see what they'll come up with here. They're going to try to get off a big chunk or say let's just get some of it. Empty backfield, 4 wideouts to the left, and the pass goes wide. The pass was caught, but a gain of only 5, maybe 6 yards out there. Brock Perry made the catch and then was hit immediately.
And I like that play call because he can do a lot with it after the catch, but great closing speed there by Sanchez, and big hit, wraps him up, puts him down to keep it third and way long here for the Thunder.
Yeah, so big third down coming up right here. They need to get all the way down to the 36-yard line. In Hurricane territory. They're at the 41 on their own side of the field to try to get the first down. Out of the gun. Sewell rolls, has great block, a lot of time. Now he launches it. Got a man down there. Battle the ball knocked away. Looking long for Denos. And he was there, but so was the defense.
Tyler Moore, what great coverage. Made a play on the ball, was right there in time, in sync as it arrived. And, with the new face guarding rules, they don't even have to necessarily turn around, but definitely a great play on the ball as it was just arriving there for Denos.
That's great defense play, and it was the first time I thought the pass was spot on.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It was there. All right, so fourth down. They're going to have to kick the ball away, and we still have 47 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Kick is away, low bouncing kick, and they're going to let it roll. It bounces up. It's going to end in the red zone all the way down to the 12, between the 12 and 13-yard line. So they'll switch sides. We'll go the other way, the Hurricane Tigers. And we have almost one complete quarter done, no score, and both sides have had opportunity, can't get her done.
Yeah, I'm surprised at this point we're still 0-0 and Hurricane's been given shots. I mean, Desert Hills keep shooting themselves in the foot. Hurricane hasn't had great field position all night long. They've got to go a long way once again, but they got to get something going here, at least get a first down here on the series.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Intermountain Sports Center. We certainly appreciate them. Great help from Intermountain Sports Center. Sean Norton doing the job here for Desert Hills. And Hurricane looks like they're going to be conservative, kind of run it into the line. They actually got 6 yards on the carry, and that'll probably be the final play. And we'll turn it around, take a timeout, walk it down to the other end of the field. Yep, they're not even going to try to run anything else. So coming up is a Hanks Riverwalk Grill timeout. Don't forget to ask for the timeout special. On the one-loss scoreboard, end of one, no score. We're back in a minute.
Welcome to Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
There is a place where young and old make connections, where kids feel like grown-ups, and grown-ups feel like kids. There is a place where beauty arises in contrast, where wonder is universal, and laughter second nature. There is a place where friends find a future, families find each other, and feelings find their home. There is a place.
For our viewers, there you are. You are in the Desert Hills huddle, getting a look at them as we get set for the second quarter across the way. Tigers still around their coach. They come out, and the situation is second down, about 4.5 yards to go. And we start the second quarter with no score on the board.
Yeah, you know, we talked about Desert Hills kind of insisting on going deep. It's kind of been bombs away for them, and it hasn't worked so far, and Hurricane with another shot to take advantage here.
Handoff is inside, and the first man through, once again, that's Wolfgram. And there was basically nothing there. Now we have a timeout. Not sure what the timeout was all about. They just wanted to set things. They reset it and restart the clock. So actually they're going to give him a couple of yards. Third down, about 2.5, 3 yards to go now for the Tigers.
And last series at this point, they decided to kind of try to do a rollout pass. We'll see if they just try to power ahead here for the first down.
Handoff straight ahead. Looks like it is enough for a first down as powering his way straight ahead. The big guy, Jaron Cordova, needed about 2.5. Well, let's see where they mark that football. I thought he got it. Now they're looking across saying, whoa, we better measure this one.
Yeah, it was Afualu coming up, meeting the block of Tyler Moore, shedding him, and then big contact on Jaron Cordova. I thought it was a first down, but
they're going to measure.
See. Yeah, they're going to bring out the sticks.
You notice we don't have many measurements recently?
Yeah, that's true.
We haven't had a lot. I guess the officials' eyesight's getting better. They can look over and say, nope.
Yeah, just kind of spy it. Maybe now that region plays started, they'll be like, let's actually go out and figure it out. This is
we'll be a little extra careful on
yeah.
this one. Well, they stretched the chains, and I think they got it by the tip of the football. Boy, you see that. Good job on the camera there, guys. It was just at about that forward ring on the football. So by inches, they get the first down.
And the Hurricane sideline exulting like they just scored a big-time touchdown. But it's been that difficult for them to move the ball and get first downs. But good for them sticking with the run and it paying off with big Jaron Cordova with the first down.
Yep, there you have another Fabulous Freddy's first down. Fuel it up, wash it down. You got two Southern Utah Fabulous Freddy's, the locations. 11 on the clock. We're underway here in quarter two. No score. Boy, student body left on that one, and they got maybe a yard between all those guys. Not much there. The handoff to Moore. Moore trying to follow the group, but there wasn't much place or nowhere to go.
And Tyler Moore may be learning what it's like to be one of the top two guys on the scouting report after last week. Really keying him and trying to get him before he gets going. Great job by Desert Hills once again, making contact right at the line of scrimmage and not allowing the speedster to get going.
I guess we can say, well, I hope you enjoyed being anonymous last week.
That's right.
They got
That's
your number
all
now there,
Yeah.
number one.
That's right.
All right, it's second and about 8.5, 9 yards. Again, just blasting off left tackle on the carry. That looked to be Cordova. Cordova picks up a couple of yards. These are tough yards. They're grinding them out little by little, but I guess if you could get 2 or 3 or 4 yards each time, you're going to keep moving the ball. But now it's third and about 6.
Yeah, a little bit behind pace after that first down run. And I want to say that Starley coming in at quarterback. I don't know if they favor him in throwing situations or not, but you've seen a new quarterback here on third down.
All right, Brock Starley up under center. He comes back. They go with a handoff. The handoff, they went with kind of a crossing pattern. Faked it to the first man. I believe that was Cordova. Moore got it, and Moore got it. He got hammered, picked up a couple, but well shy of the first down.
And kind of the realization, I'm sure Coach Pearson is coming to at this point is, holy cow, it doesn't matter what kind of crossfire action we do, our blockers do not have much of a push against this Thunder defense, and they've struggled to have time throwing it. So not many options so far in this game on O for Hurricane.
Yeah, Dawson Mayfield with the assisting anyway. Catch, caught, and then runner caught. Waiting it out there was Gage Baird. He was hoping that he'd have a little more time, but as soon as the ball got there, so the defender.
Christian Haynes, what coverage down there. Did not interfere right when the ball arrived. He arrived. Great play, probably the play of the game so far for Hurricane.
That's good. You know, when it works and you time it right,
yeah.
That's a great play. If you're a little late or a little early,
yes.
All bets are off. So, all right, just a couple of ticks under 9 minutes remaining here in the first quarter of action. No score. Thanks for joining us tonight all across the spectrum. Watching it on TDS, Channel 22, Sports Radio 977.com. Of course, ESPN Radio 97.7. And here we go. Thunder. Nephi Sewell back. He has some time. Come back over the middle, wide open to the 50, to the 40. He's got one guy to the 20, down to the 10-yard line. The one guy back there. That looks like Moore, and he was the last guy that had a chance, and they hauled him in.
And another wide open receiver. Desert Hills has had open receivers all night long, just been unable to get it to him. This time Hayden Henry comes open right over the middle. A broken coverage there by, I think that was a safety, kind of cheated up, left him wide open, and Tyler Moore is able to run him down. But a big play there for the Thunder.
Yeah, I think you're right. He kind of sloughed off. He let him go by, and then it's like he looked behind him and thought, whoops,
yeah, wrong
nobody's
guy to
back there. Anyway, into the red zone they go. Sewell keeps it himself down to around the 5-yard line, so he picks up a good 4.5, 5 yards on that carry. It'll now be second and goal from the 5.
And a little bit of a clash of the Titans here as Big Sewell meets Shane Farnsworth in the middle, and Farnsworth grabs him, kind of drags him backwards. Big strong kid there at middle linebacker for Hurricane.
You won't see a bullfight with better looking action than that one. He hog-tied him and brought him down. Second and goal from the 5-yard line. On the fly, sweeping wide, Perry looking for room to turn. This time got a couple. He'll be just shy of the goal line.
And that's kind of been their best play tonight when they don't hold that stretch play. You got Panay on that side with some other blockers, and good job by Perry patiently picking his seam and almost tried to stretch it over the goal line. We'll see here on the replay. They like getting him the ball when he's got a full head of steam. Got blockers up front, picks his seam, tries to keep his knee off, and wow, really close. Must have just been an inch or two away from across the goal
Closer
line.
than I thought the first time. So, again, opportunity. Inches to go for the first down. They got the inches and more. Touchdown.
And well-deserved for Brock Perry, who has had many big runs taken back. He'll get the call. Sewell gives it to him up the middle. He gets a couple inches and 6 points for the Thunder.
So the Thunder find pay dirt as we watch on the replay. It's just a straight forward handoff. He just put the shoulder down, went straight ahead, got it into the end zone. Now they'll try to tack on the extra point as the kicker, Logan Callister, steps in, fires it right between the uprights, and there's our first PAT, point after. Extra points brought to you by Therapia Addiction Healing Center. Get extra help by stopping in with over 20 years of experience. We're going to take a quick 30-second break. 30-second break. We'll be back on the one-loss scoreboard. Now 7-0 Thunder.
There is a place where young and old make connections, where kids feel like grown-ups, and grown-ups feel like kids. There is a place where beauty arises in contrast, where wonder is universal, and laughter second nature. There is a place where friends find a future, families find each other, and feelings find their home. There is a place.
And we welcome you back once again. Beautiful night for football. Got a good one going on. That kick goes, just barely into the end zone. It hit at the goal line. Back there was Sanchez. He says, and it bounced almost straight in the air.
A moment of terror there for Sanchez as he watches it bounce. Luckily, going the way of the end zone.
All right, we're just underway. Well, actually, we have 7:05, time remaining here on the Air Care Professionals clock. That is in the second quarter. First points of the game were put up by the Thunder. Nice job by Brock Perry to get the short dive for the 6. And now let's see if the Tigers can respond with something of their own.
Wouldn't be surprised to see them go for the element of surprise here with a pass. Looks like not.
They're not that surprising, are they? It's a quick pass into the line. It's only good for 2.5 yards as they gave it to Cordova right up the middle.
Sorry, Mike.
I was just going to say, you look at the stats, though, and you realize Hurricane won't throw it unless they feel like they absolutely have to.
Yeah, and apparently they're not at that point, but Cordova up the middle for a couple yards, and anytime on first down you go for less than 3 or 4, you're already behind pace, and now you need one of your wings to get 7 or 8 on second down.
All right, they load them up once again. Back now, they do go to the air, and they got a man out there, but they overthrow Tyler Moore. That shows me how much I know. I said they never do, and then they come right out, and they go over the top. That time probably about 2 yards over top the receiver.
And there was a little bit of a jumble in the backfield on the drop back. Great effort there by the quarterback, Hayron, to get it off. Just overthrew Moore just a little bit, and that could have been 6 with the speed on him, but just over his outstretched arms.
Jaron Polu back there on defense, but he was about a step and a half behind. So it's now 3rd and long, and hold everything. That's usually you see some movement on the offensive side, and that's what we get, dead ball procedure. So the Tigers now will lose the 2 or 3 they got, plus a couple more. 3rd and about 12 yards to go.
And the worst enemy for Hurricane is that false start penalty. Happened a couple times last week against Moapa Valley, and it's just debilitating because now, a 3rd and long is tough for anybody, but for this offense to be 3rd and 14 or whatever they are, it seems almost impossible against this defense.
So it's a 7-0 lead right now on the one-loss scoreboard. That for the Thunder. He just picked that up here in the second quarter, but that's it for the game. A 7-0 game here with 6:19 to go in the quarter. They go with the handoff up the quarterback has it, ends up going backwards. I was faked out, I got to admit, on that one. Was that the QB that hung on to it?
Well,
Okay.
it's such a shock that Hurricane's going to throw it 2 times in a row,
Right.
and they actually do. I guess it's 3rd and long, but yeah, Carter Reynolds coming off this left edge here. Pretty good fake by Hayren, but the tight end just can't hold the block, and Reynolds gets in there, and then a swarm of Thunder players help him out, and nowhere to go.
Yeah, at least one was not fooled at all, and he was right back there. So now kicking from deep in their own end zone. And now we have, I believe, a timeout called. And it is. It's a Hanks Riverwalk Grill timeout taken by the Tigers. We'll take it along with them. 5:33 to go. 7-0 Thunder. Back in a minute. Welcome back. A kick will start the quarter. Coming up to get it in great field position. The 43 kicking to the left side. The ball is returned down into the red zone. And looks like the Thunder have excellent position, as that time Gage Baird was there. He did a good job. He kind of disguised it, so he grabbed it and took off. And it is 1st and 10 inside the red zone.
Yeah, and Baird aggressive going up and getting it. It must have had big eyes on that one. His first one he's able to return, and a heck of a job following some blocks and making it up on the left side, already down in the red zone for the Thunder.
Not critical, but a very important time right now for the Hurricane Tigers. I think they need to put the brakes on here. Not allow any more. Nephi Sewell runs right, throws back to the left. The ball bounces in the air, and we may have defensive interference.
And it's Trell Shamo kind of looking at the ref saying, well, what was wrong with that? But it looked to me pretty good coverage, but we'll see here if we got a replay, if it was a little early for the Hurricane Tigers.
That's what the call was. So here we get to watch the replay. As the roll again to the right, they throw it back to the left. Well, I don't know.
Now, I don't know if he's calling a flag before the pass. He kind of maybe bumped him a little bit, but it looked to me the timing of it was on the play or on the ball arriving, but tough call there for Hurricane.
So the ball now is inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line, and it is 1st and 2 yards. Hard to see from this angle. As they look to work the right side, ball gets down to the 1. So right on the doorstep again, here come the Thunder. This time they fake the inside and then pass to the outside. We got to tell those officials they're getting in the way of our shots here. Right?
Yeah, they are. They don't know what we got to see what's going on down there, boys.
All right, 2nd and goal. And a fumble, and the ball gets loose. But I believe getting back on it, he did. Inside the end zone, Brock Perry wraps it up for a touchdown.
And they've had struggles in the red zone with passing. This time with the pitch, bounces off Perry, and then it rolls into the end zone, and Perry, credit him for just the laser focus on the ball, sprinting after it, and just plucking it up with his hands for the touchdown on a kind of a positive fumble going forward there.
Yeah, Noah Sewell got up a little slow. He was ending up in the end zone. And he got tripped up right at the end there. Almost a leg whip on him, but he looks to be all right. That's good news. And now here comes the point after. In a moment, officials have broken the action, taking timeout. 4:26 now to go here in the first half. 13-0. We're waiting to see if we can add on the 14th point.
And what they might be talking about is the fumble was initiated, touched by a player on Desert Hills, and it goes forward. Are they able to go and get it for the touchdown? And it looks like they decided that would be the case, but now there's a timeout on Hurricane, it looks like.
Yeah, Tigers take another timeout right now. Let's keep it right here. We have 4.5 minutes to go. I do want to mention once again, join us at the half. We'll kind of bring you up to date. I don't know if we've got any other scores. We'll pass those along if we can. And we do want to remind you to join us for the wrap-up show tonight. Right after the game is completed, we'll have information, scores, comments, and hand out some awards as well in the wrap-up show. All of Region 9 action. 3 games, well, actually 4, 3 conference games, and then Pineview's at home against Cypress. I think I saw Cypress is a 6A team this year.
Wow, yeah, a big school, a team that got beat badly last year by Pineview. And after seeing what they did to Manti, I'm sure a little hesitancy to come all the way down to play the Panthers. They're playing such good football. But, a big school in Cypress. Maybe they can hang with them for a little bit.
I went up to that game. I called that game at Cypress High School last year. And I think they went, let's see, M-P-U-N. Mapungi had a whale of a game last year.
Yeah, and, last week against Manti, I think he had 4 carries and went for 70 yards, so they're trying to preserve him a little bit. I'm sure Coach Hosner would love to have him just go for 1/2 again tonight.
Yeah, all right, here we go. They're now going to allow the kick, the extra point. Coming from regular depth, so they didn't change anything other than to talk things over. And there was a guess by Adam Hayrand, and he took off literally about 3 seconds early.
Eager to get a hand on the PAT.
He came around that far end. I tell you, I don't know they didn't move the football though. I'm not sure what they did. There's the snap. Here's the kick, and after all that, it's up and good. All right, let's take the break here right now. 4:26 to go on the one-loss scoreboard. It's now Desert Hills 14-0 over Hurricane. Back in a minute. Well, short timeout as we come back. The kickoff ends up in the end zone, and so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
And Hurricane showed that they are willing, when they're desperate, to throw it. Threw it a couple times last series. Had one chance at a big play that was just a little bit overthrown, and then were sacked deep in their own territory. Haven't had much time at all tonight, really running or throwing. Thunder have been in the backfield all night long.
Yeah, I was going to say, great job so far, I think, by the Thunder defense. They're just not giving many options to the Tigers. So here we go. 4:26 to go in this first half. Quick handoff up the middle, muscling about 4, maybe 5 yards on the carry. That is Jaron Cordova got shoved back, but they're going to give him forward momentum for 5.
You know, what's interesting this year, at least for me with Hurricane, is they're not running a lot of option. Traditionally you think they're a wing T, triple option team. This is just straight kind of full house, crossfire, trying to block everybody and power through it. And good job there by Jaron Cordova getting a big gain of first down.
So it's 1st and 5. And again, they work this time, though, the left side, and not much there that time as they handed off to Tyler Moore. Moore got hit very early, went down, and it's going to be 3rd and 5 and another timeout. I'm not sure if they're seeing things they don't like or if coaches are just saying, oh, I got the timeouts. Let's take a moment and talk things over here, because this one was called by Desert Hills.
Yeah, there's been a few times on both sides, kind of surprising timeouts. I guess it's the first half, not the second half, when you really want to preserve them. But still, kind of a frustrating half, I'm sure, for Coach Frankie, just kind of reading his body language, especially offensively. But now on 3rd down, wants to make sure that they don't give away a cheap first down here on 3rd. And what is kind of 3rd and long for Hurricane, unless they're going to try to pass it again. We'll see what Coach Pearson dials up here. Desperate for a first down. Desperate to even approach midfield so far in this game are the Hurricane Tigers.
And they may be taking a look at it saying, well, they kind of surprised us last series. They did go up top on these 3rd downs, so let's be ready.
Right.
For
yeah,
it.
Absolutely.
So 3rd and 5 for the Tigers as they come back out on the field. Doesn't appear to be any change in personnel, as they stay pretty much the same way. So, 3rd and 5. The ball's at the 25. They need to get it to the 30 for the first down. 3:44 to go. Hayrand hands off Cordova, and he's going to be just short. Wow, he busted through, kind of got spun around. You could see he was keeping the legs and churning, trying to lean that far. And they just kind of held him up right at the last moment, just shy of the first down marker.
And it looks like, Desert Hills marching off the field. I don't know if another timeout
They
here.
did.
Yeah, it must be for Desert Hills. As it looked like Hurricane was at least feigning maybe that they're leaving their offense out for 4th and really short, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do go for it. We saw against Moapa Valley a hard count on 4th and short that worked. Maybe they're looking to do that, at least come to the line of scrimmage and get an offsides call.
Well, that's why I guess I'm not the coach. I'm the guy sitting a long way away from the field up in the booth. It's a little surprising the way they've used their timeouts in this game. But
yeah, absolutely.
If they win, then you can say, well, they did it right, I guess. 3:32 time remaining here in the first half of action. Now they're going to set up, anticipating a punt here. The punter is on the field. That's Collard. So they do anticipate a kick here with 4th and less than a yard. But again, you really don't want to give up that short of a porch here this late in the first half. Snap is back, takes his time, gets the kick away, end over end, and mishandled, and the ball is knocked away. It is live and covered, though, by Desert Hill.
Wow, almost a huge break there for Hurricane. They had guys down there on the muffed punt, but were unable to fall on it, as we'll see here on the replay. Gets a bounce up into his shins, falls down. Hurricane dives over the ball, it looks like, and then it's Desert Hills with recovery.
I think Via Fanua, is that his name? Got a hold of that one for him.
Yeah, I think you're right. Number 14 with the Johnny on the spot pickup there for Desert Hills. Could have been the biggest offensive play of the night for Hurricane, but Desert Hills gets on it.
That was a low driving kick, wicked, and I think he thought, well, I'll take it on the bounce, but the bounce popped him in the kneecap. Well, let's see what the Thunder now can do with 3 minutes and 21 seconds. They lead it at 14-0 here late in the first half. Nephi Sewell's adjusting his players. He's alone in the backfield. 4 wide outs. Now the fly sweep. They fake the handoff, and they want to go to the air. The swing pass is complete to the 40, to the 50. It's a race, and it's going to be won by the speedster. Holy smokes, look out, Brock Perry for 6.
And that has been the bread and butter play all season long for this Desert Hills offense. Little wheel route, he gets a linebacker on him, and they have no shot of covering him. Probably Noah's best delivered ball of the night, and he had his hands up as soon as Brock Perry caught the ball, knowing that nobody was going to catch him for the big touchdown.
Wow, what a kick that one, or excuse me, a pass. And you're right, he laid it in there beautifully, caught him in full stride, and they got fuller as he took off toward the end zone. Here comes the point after. He splits it, and right now, making a statement are the Desert Hills Thunder. They lead at 21-0. Let's take a quick 30-second break. We'll be right back.
There is a place where looking out means looking in, where an impression lasting only a few seconds will be imprinted on a life forever, where courage is forged and innocence rediscovered, where remembering is rewarding and forgetting unforgettable. There is a place where truth is felt and where seeing is believing. There is a place.
Making our broadcast possible here tonight, the Thunder now opening up a 3-touchdown lead. The kick is hit, and boy, it's picked up at the 1-yard line. Returned to the 5, out to the 10, and that is it. Nowhere to go. Once again, back there deep, that was Sanchez, and he could see it. He thought, I can get this, and when he turned around, there was like 3 guys right in front of him.
Tough spot once again for Sanchez that time. Yeah, I agree. Picks it up, and the Thunder rushing down, and don't give him a shot to get much distance on the return.
So deep in the own side of the field, once again, are the Hurricane Tigers. They trail now 21-0. All the scoring has come here in the second quarter. And again, first Region 9 game of the season for both these teams, opening up here at the Thunder Stadium. In the middle of the field, not much there. And coming out, they're pretty excited, was trying to pick up a name. I think that was Aflalo. He was in on the tackle. Kind of happy about things. So it is a gain of nothing. Second down and 10 yards to go. And the clock running.
Big number 53, Nayopolusu for Desert Hills, just having a monster game, plugging up the A-gap. That's where Hurricanes goes most of the time, and he's not letting them go anywhere tonight.
Wow, a miscue in the backfield, and things are kind of, well, ball they say comes loose. Desert Hills says, we've got it. But the officials say, no, we got him down. So it will be down deep in the backfield. They lose it back to the 5-yard line. And Tigers going the wrong way here.
Amazing how good the pass rush is. That time off the right edge. I think that was Peyton Pace from the secondary position coming off the right edge for the Thunder. Wraps him up. They say the ball came out in a fumble, but it looks like they're keeping it with Hurricane.
Game tonight being brought to you in part by DATS Trucking, and we'll be choosing a DATS Trucking player of the game. We like to honor those young men, step up and do some little extra things in the action each and every week. So we'll be naming them, as well as the super sub of the game, brought to you by Jimmy John Subs, and Playmaker Play of the Game by Appliance Wholesalers Plus. And another timeout taken with $1:25 to go in the game. So I think that's the last of the timeouts for Desert Hills. I think Tigers may have one more. But right now, it's almost like, Andy, that this is like a learning exercise. Like they're saying, okay, let's take time out. Let's talk over. Now, you see this. We're going to do that. If they go here, here's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. They're really taking their time, and I agree with you of a learning experience. Let's talk about the last play. Let's break it down here in the first half, because right now Hurricane on the 5-yard line, what the heck do you do? Because if you drop back, you got 0 time and you risk the safety. Do you just give it up and kind of submit to the idea that you're going to have to punt, maybe get a few yards with Cordova, give you a little bit more breathing room for the punt? I don't know what you do against this Thunder defense tonight.
Yeah, it's 3rd down, 15 yards to go from their own 5-yard line, and there's still a fair amount of time at $1:25. The only other thing is possibly the Thunder trying to conserve that clock. Say we like a little bit of time, we could maybe do something. Ball does come loose this time, but again, Tigers get back on it, but they lose another yard. Maybe even 2 back around the 2 or 3 yard line.
And I'm not sure if that was just supposed to be a straight bootleg there for Hayren, but he had it around the right edge after trying to fake it a couple times and then saw that he was at risk of maybe having a safety and just kind of pitched it. And the refs are discussing exactly where the spot was on that.
Going to give him the 4-yard line, so officially he lost another yard. It is 4th and deep now. Again, there is time with 1:12 to go here in the second quarter. First quarter flew by. This one has applied the brakes. Slowed down, a lot of action. And we're still waiting for the officials to put the football down. A little discussion going on here on the near side between coaches and official. I'm not sure the coach, whatever his question was, he ain't buying it, but I'm not sure what the officials are doing either. Except walking very slowly.
Yes, there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of making sure they're getting it right, I guess, but.
Well, the one official indicated like it was a timeout, but there are no more timeouts.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what they were doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the discussion's about.
So Thunder says, okay, well, we'll throw another man out there and put him in a short kick situation. Boy, standing right on the back end of the end zone is the punter. Gets it cleanly, gets it away. Pretty good kick. Kicks away, taken at the 46-yard line. Has some room to the 35. Down to the 25. Finally forced out of bounds. And we'll have to wait as they place the football down. But 1 minute, 4 seconds to go on the scoreboard up here. So there is time, once again, for the Thunder to come up with something.
Yeah, and Bear does a good job here catching it, reading his block, close to a block in the back, but I think may have had his helmet where it needed to be to avoid that call. And another good return by Bear. Pretty good average tonight when he actually gets to catch it and run.
I think that was Hayrand actually on the tackle who came up on that punting situation. So with 1:04 to go, here comes Desert Hills. Now there must be an injured player. There is across the way. It looks like a Tiger was upended. The official turned back and says we're kind of in hold. And again, which is the only place you see this really is in high school football. But I like the fact that the other team kneels down just to kind of say, you know, we respect, we hope he's okay. And I can't see that far away as to who the injured player may be. He's right on the sideline over there. We have just a moment again to remind you, following tonight's game, it's the wrap-up show. All the scores and information. Well, the player is up and walked off the field, so that's good news. So it apparently wasn't too serious of an injury. Now we get back to live action. Get the feeling, though, that Desert Hill says maybe we ought to just go for it one more. We're close. Right at the 21, 22-yard line. And they send trips to the left for Nephi Sewell. Let's see if they go this way through the air.
Bo Barbin over here. He's been quiet tonight. Not even sure if he has a reception. One of their really sneaky route runners, especially against zone coverage, and a really good red zone target. And in a minute, as you say, Mike, more than enough time for Desert Hills to put up another touchdown.
Yep. Official comes back. They reset and say, all right, start the play clock. And there we go. Trips to the left once again with a single setback. Now he goes in motion. A fake to the right, throw back, and oh, man, nice catch, but tripping up. I think the turf monster got him out there.
Yeah, Danas has made a couple big plays tonight, but, yeah, just too much turf in the cleat, apparently. So he goes down.
All the action was to the right, and Nephi faked right and then swung back to his left. And the pass was right on. Sewell now gets away from pressure, calls his own number. He's down to the 5-yard line. I'm looking down, I don't see a flag. I don't think. Now they're walking back as if there is one, and now I do see it on the turf down there. It's at about the 14-yard line, and it is going to be a hold. That's where it really gets kind of muddy. You think, okay, we want to hurry it up. We want to do something good. There on the replay, you see nice sidestep by Sewell. And I'm not sure where they got the hold from, but nonetheless, that was the call.
Yeah, I was surprised at the hold. I saw a couple pushes maybe in the back. It could have been called, but I didn't necessarily see a hold. But that looked to be on the right side of that offense again, and that's got to be the third, maybe fourth holding call on Desert Hills tonight.
So the Thunder may get off one more play. We're down into the teens on the clock as it winds down. Sewell back, wants to go to the air. Ball is popped up in the air, knocked away and out of bounds, and that'll stop it with about 8.6 seconds. So it is 3rd and long, but again, the ball is at the 23-yard line. And probably one more play coming up here. This should wind up half number 1. And what has been kind of a long, slow second quarter here. There you see on the replay, the ball, good defense, was tipped up in the air. It was a live ball, but it went out of bounds. And they start the clock. Sewell fires it, and it is incomplete, and that'll stop it with 3 seconds.
Bullet pass there to Brock Perry. Got him on the numbers, juggled it a little bit, almost caught it on the second effort, but drops to the turf with a little sprinkling of rain, perhaps.
Did you kind of expect him to actually catch that again? I mean, you get to where you expect him to pull off those wild things.
Yeah, no matter where the ball is. I mean, we saw the last series on the fumble. He just darted right for it, picked it up for a touchdown. I expected him to catch it on that second effort and take it in.
All right, 3 seconds. And they're going to go for a field goal. It's 4th and 11. It'll be a 40-yard attempt. As they place it down, the kick is away, and it's off to the side a little bit short. That'll do it. Winding it up here finally. First half comes to an end after a no-score first quarter, kind of a wild and woolly second quarter, but all the scoring stayed on one side in a 21-0 lead in favor of Desert Hills. Don't go anywhere. We have a halftime information coming up. We'll take a look, pass along, hopefully maybe some scores of some other games. What we have, it is yours. Stay with us. On the one-loss scoreboard, Desert Hills 21-0. We're back in 90 seconds.
Tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun. Wake the sun, wake the sun. sun. Wake the sun.
There is a place where the desert comes alive, where rain breaks forth from solid stone and gardens spring from blistered rock. There is a place with enough color to make a rainbow jealous, where boulders are bigger than buildings and cliffs are higher than clouds. There is a place that will straighten your step, tighten your grip, widen your eyes, and open your jaw. There is a place.
All right, welcome back once again. Desert Hills High School. It ended up being 3 touchdowns in that second quarter, all on the side of the Desert Hills Thunder. And, Andy, there's no doubt in this game to this point, Hurricane hasn't figured out the defense of the Thunder.
No, and it's so kind of straightforward and simple. This is a team that at least used to run a lot of option, a lot of counter, and now it's just a lot of straight-ahead power, and you got to block everybody. You're not optioning the defensive end or the linebacker, so you can have a numbers advantage. You just got to outpower a team that is much bigger and stronger on the front. And Hurricane unable to even get it close to midfield this game.
Yeah, I know that the Desert Hills does have some pretty good bookends on the outside, and they may be really hard to run against, but I thought last week, even though they didn't win the game, they being now a Hurricane, had some success by going wide.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, Tyler Moore went for over 150 yards, a couple scores against a Moapa team that may not be as talented as Desert Hills, but they've got to figure out a way to get the edge and get some blockers to go around the ends, because up the middle, Cordova's doing the best he can, and he's fighting off tacklers and churning his legs, but there's only so much he can do, and I think his biggest run of the night, 5, 6, maybe 7 yards, and it's just not consistently putting Hurricane into short yardage positions on 3rd and 4th down.
This is the InfoWest halftime update. InfoWest is the internet, people. Get high-speed internet, web design, tech support, and much, much more. Sure and check out things like clean internet, speed burst, and more. It's all available online at InfoWest.com. Again, I feel like I'm not quite understanding, but I'm not out there playing the game. I'm not out there making the calls, but or I'll tell you what, maybe we just need to give more credit to this Desert Hills defense, because they've absolutely shut the Tigers out.
They have, and it's Koa Afualo, it's Jake Stokes, it's Naya Palusu, who's been the nose tackle, who doesn't get a lot of tackles, but he takes up 2 blockers and maybe even a halfback who's trying to get to a linebacker to allow the linebackers to make most of the tackles. So the front of Desert Hills, the coaching staff has to be very pleased. Now, on the other side, Mike, I know it's 21-0, and they've had some big plays, but I'm sure Coach Frankie went into the locker room and said, we got to figure it out offensively, because we're missing big plays. We're getting penalties on big plays. We can't do stuff like this when we play the top half of Region 9 teams, because it's not going to go well for us.
Yeah, in fact, as we talked about in the pregame, the coach's comments and what he looked at, he felt like he needed out of this game, and it was finished, both sides of the ball. And I felt like in that first quarter they were lacking that a little bit. They weren't quite getting what they wanted, the toughness. But I think that they have stepped it up. They did come through in that second quarter. But again, they took advantage of some miscues by the Hurricane Tigers too, and that's another key that the coach talked about. He says we need to take care of the ball and the clock, and I thought they've done a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, they really have, and I think Desert Hills is coming with the full complement of their playbook. It's open, and we're seeing bubble screens, we're seeing fake left, throw right, read options on the run game, throwing deep, and you think, well, you got a D1 offensive line. You got a D1 linebacker, a quarterback who's one of the most physical kids in the region. Why aren't you just running over this Hurricane team? But I'm sure Coach Frankie wants to see them develop in all sides of their dynamic offense, not just running the football. And it's kind of been hit and miss through the first half, but the second quarter, especially when they're going to Brock Perry, that seemed to work for them just fine.
We don't have any stats here at the end of the first half, but I tell you what, Brock Perry once again has got to be lighting them up. He's had a couple of big runs, and he's had a couple called back. So had he got everything in, I think he'd be up around 150-plus yards. But he's still having a good first half of action, and he's doing a pretty good job. Noah Sewell looked pretty good. I think they're in that first quarter especially. I don't know if he just had the old adrenaline running or whatever it was, but, boy, he was out throwing his receivers almost every time.
Yeah, I mean, you look at who they're trying to replace, and Hokanson last year and Braxton Porter last year, big, tall, athletic basketball players who would go up and get the ball. He's kind of I don't know, because you're right, he's overthrowing passes. Get used to Bo Barbin. Get used to some of these other guys because he's got athletes. Gage Barrett, we've seen make big plays, and Tate DeNoss are guys that can go down the field. He just overshot him a little bit in the first half.
So it's at the half here tonight. We're going to take another 60-second break. When we come back, we'll bring you up to date on scores of the other games in the region here tonight. And again, there is one non-region game, Pineview at home against Cypress. We'll give you what we have and scores and things coming up. At the half, once again, 21-0 on the one-loss scoreboard. Desert Hills with the lead. We're back in one.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Information on hot water heating.
No. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out the words.
World music, playing track now.
No.
Let me try. Our daughter gets confused about which details in a story are important.
Which paper towels are most absorbent?
What?
Here are 5 product reviews.
Why are you not getting me?
See, I told you.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
All right, we welcome you back once again. It is at the half. And I do want to mention, by the way, 21 points on the board. That means that we are 4 points away. I say we because we could sneak down.
Heck yeah.
Get the free Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert. And again, if the team gets 25 points or more at Yogurtland, you get 5 ounce of yogurt dessert absolutely free. Now, you want to tack on some more, go right ahead. You can do that. But the first 5 ounces are free if, and I think they will, get at least 4 more points.
Yeah, I think so, too, the way we're pacing. I like that arrangement. Kids, you do all the hard work. We'll go get the dessert after the game.
I knew I picked the right job here, sitting up here. All right, well, let's take a look at some of the action, Andy, around the region, what we have here.
Yeah, well, a surprising score at halftime, at least, for the homecoming game for the Dixie Flyers, down 10-7 to Snow Canyon. Sometimes I pay lip service to the anything can happen in Region 9, but, heck, the way this Dixie team has played, I did not expect this to at least through 2 quarters. Snow Canyon with the lead at half. Very surprising. And then the last score I saw for Pineview Cypress was the Panthers up 14-3, and then Canyon View up 7-0 on Cedar, threatening to score again going into half. Not sure if they got the score, but that was one that was maybe the toughest one tonight to pick. But the Falcons with the lead.
Yeah, both of those teams obviously have struggled a little bit. They have made some pushes. Cedar got their first win. Canyon View came within an eyelash of getting their first win. They didn't quite pull it off, but they're right there on the verge. And I'll say it again. I've said it before. I don't count out any team in the region. I've seen teams go like 0 for 5, and suddenly they're right there in the mix at the end, or they get hot right before jumping into the postseason.
Yeah, and there's something about region. You try to figure and learn as much as you can about these teams that are playing in the outer region, strength of schedule, all that stuff. But once these teams were so familiar with each other, the coaches, the game film, the history, really anything can happen. It looks like that is the case at least through one half at Dixie.
All right, we appreciate, again, all of our sponsors, which, by the way, includes Sports Clips, and they help us with our MVP of the night. Walk-ins are always welcome. Ask for the MVP treatment. That gives you the MVP haircut, hot steam towel, and massaging shampoo. And congratulations to the Death Trucking player of the game. And now Sports Clip has stepped up as a part of the honors here. So once again, we are here at the half. Second quarter has belonged to the Thunder. Let's take another 90-second break. We'll come back and set it up once again for the second half of action. We'll test our knowledge of what we think should happen. I always love that because about 50% of the time I can get it right. 50% I'm way off base. But
may as well just flip a quarter.
There you go. We'll see what happens. 90-second break coming up. We'll be back. Again at the half, 21-0 Desert Hills.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
I love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Por las cosas que nos pueden mantener seguros. Y ahora, las que llevamos con nosotros ofrecen alertas inalámbricas de emergencia. Por medio de un sonido y vibración particular, estarás al tanto donde quiera que estés.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework.
I hate homework. It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Darn, we're back, interrupting my delicious bite of a snack here. So, and in the event, welcome back. Glad to have you with us. I mean, it's pretty obvious. An important part of the game is the first couple of minutes of the second half.
Sure.
That really seems to kind of set the stage or kind of takes you out of a ball game sometimes. And so we've obviously got a situation where I think now let's see, Hurricane receives the ball, right? Because they deferred in the second half.
Yeah, you're right.
So they'll have an opportunity, and quite frankly, I think they need to come out and show, at the very least, moving the ball up and down the field.
Yeah, absolutely. At least 1 or 2 first downs. I mean, coming out of the locker room, desperate to keep it a ball game for as long as they can. And, you know, so far, as we've discussed, unable to get anything going between the tackles. They've gotten a couple first downs. And when they try to throw it, and credit Coach Pearson for, you know, being willing to do something different to get a first down, they just have had no shot, whether it's Hadrian or Starley trying to throw the ball because the Thunder are in the backfield. So I'm not sure what they do, but they've got to figure out a way to loosen up that Desert Hills defense any way they can.
Yeah, I agree with that. And they really do need to find some way to move that football. I mean, we can say there's a lot of things they maybe should do, but that's it. Bottom line, you gotta move that football. It'd be nice if you get a score here quickly, kind of at least put the thought in the minds of Desert Hills that, hey, these guys can score. On the other side, if they can't even move the football and Desert Hills gets it back and moves it down, I'm afraid it could be just about over early here in the second half.
Yeah, I agree with you. And in a way, it's almost like Desert Hill's offense is just kind of toying with Hurricane, knowing at any time they can throw it to Brock Perry or they can go deep or it's going to be there. And sometimes that's come back to bite them, and they've had to punt or kick a field goal or struggled in the red zone. But it seems to me, really, at any point with Noah Sewell and his arm strength, they can go down the field and score in a hurry. And the fact that it's 21-0, that's a big margin, but it could be much worse for Hurricane after one half.
Yeah. You know, Jaron Cordova, once again, a young man that they were looking at. They were hoping for big things out of him this year. And honestly, I think half the fact that everybody expected it, everybody knew him, they were waiting for him. And so he's kind of been the marked man. And when you come out, everybody's looking for you, and it's a little bit tough. He really hasn't gotten uncorked, I don't think, in any game. Now, we mentioned last week we thought that Tyler Moore and Trayson Abbott did a pretty good job. But it's a pretty tough defense here from Desert Hill.
And a very tough position for a fullback in a team that they're not, like we were saying, they don't run the option. So there's no fooling. They know it's going to Cordova, and they're ready for him. And it's a daunting task for a fullback in this type of offense, knowing that he's got to run through 2 or 3 people in order to gain 2-3 yards.
All right, so 12 minutes put back on the clock, and we get ready to go. Third quarter of action coming up, 21-0 in favor of the Thunder. They will kick it off to start the second half. And again, Tigers really need to kind of get something rolling here early in this second half. Let's see if they can get it lit up here as Thunder ready to go. Officials whistle, and here we go. Foot into the football. Kind of a line drive kick, and it's going to go in and out of the end zone. So they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So the Tigers will have it 1st and 10 after the touchback on their own 20-yard line. Looking and seeing, once again, it is number 4, H.K. Wolfgram. So either he has earned the right to be a starter and playing pretty well, or he's in there because of another injury. I didn't have a chance to get over and check that out.
Yeah, I didn't either, and Trayson Abbott had a pretty good game last week against Moapa Valley. I'd be surprised if he didn't see any action if he were healthy, but Wolfgram's done a good job the couple times he's gotten the ball so far this game.
All right, here we have it. Boy, everybody's in the box right now for the Tigers. They weren't going to try to fool anybody. It's just head-to-head, student body right or left. That time it was Jaron Cordova on the carry, and he got half of them. Gain of 5, second down, 5 to go.
And I like that. Get to the line quick and just trying to catch him any inch you can off guard. And getting 5 yards on first down for this offense is a big victory. And he had a little daylight on that one, and now just keep it going and wear down the defense. That's their goal.
Quarterback Adam Hayrand, except for maybe 1 or 2, calls his own number, turns it upfield, has the first down, and he's still going out across the 35. Probably one of the better runs tonight, and that was just, I think, sheer determination on the side of Adam Hayrand.
Yeah, they're fired up. 2 good runs back to back. He wasn't going to stop. He had the Thunder players wrapping him up, and he just kept going and getting blocks in that second level as well. Getting a first hit on the first series. Mission accomplished so far coming out of the locker room, moving the ball. And you can see Adam Hayrand yelling at his guys, getting them fired up. Once again, I like the intensity of the Tigers so far.
That's exactly what they need.
Yeah.
And I think they got to have that on-the-field vocal leader to get them fired. 1st and 10. Again, a handoff up the middle, crossing the 36. Now a late flag, and that came up after the play was over. That is going to indicate probably some sort of penalty as far as a personal foul. There it is. It's going to go against Desert Hills. They call it both ways.
Yeah, I think it was Jaron Cordova and Carter Reynolds kind of get into a shoving match here after the play, and I think the right call to call it offsetting on this one. Not much for Wolfgram to go, but a little extracurricular there. You can see it number 9, pushing Cordova there in the replay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then the pushback is where you get the second flag.
There you go. So, all right, gain of 4, second down. Well, gain of 3. Second down, 7 yards to go. 10:44 to go here in the third quarter. Handoff was interesting. It was low, and I don't know if he lost his footing, but it looked like he was about 6 inches off the ground, but he kept the feet going.
Great run there by Jaron Cordova, an angry Jaron Cordova. Not fun to try to tackle him, even for the big middle linebacker, Koa Afualo, rolls him around. And I like, once again, even with that last run didn't go for much. They're playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, which they didn't have the first half.
Right. Third down and 4 yards to go. Big down right now for the Tigers. They come with the second handoff, but not fooled. And that carry was by Tyler Moore. Looked like for a moment he had a little bit room, but boy, the door slammed shut.
Yeah, Gio Villafanua as well as Jaron Paulu for Desert Hills were right there, and Tyler Moore just hasn't had any time to get going. It looked like he had a little bit of a seam, but then it's closed immediately by the Thunder, and it looks like they're going to have to punt again.
Yeah, I think if they had got 3 yards and been close, they might have thought, but now they lose an extra yard, so it's back to 4th and about 4.5 yards to go. They will punt it away, so the Thunder should get their hands on the football in pretty good position. The kick goes off to the left, big high bounce, but good coverage by the Tiger special teams, and they let it bounce. It's going to be touched dead right on the 20-yard line, where, again, the Thunder take over 1st and 10.
Yeah, and Christian Haynes, I believe that's a long snapper getting down there. He's had a heck of a game on special teams. Gets a release. Downs at that time, a big tackle earlier on in the game. And, you know, the special teams is pretty big for Hurricane. That's how they gain the field position, because their offense has been unable to move it at all game long.
Now, there is a flag, and I'm trying to decide whether he flew it or was marking it, but it's a very, very late flag. Oh, well, it's what it is it's a warning to the sidelines. And it's, I think, it was the near side sidelines. Nonetheless, we're back in action. That one's not the penalty. So on the near side, found some room and busting their way through for a gain of 11 yards. Another first down for the Thunder. And that's just good hard running straight ahead. And I'll let Desert Hill says we're getting ready again right at it. They're not wasting any time. And again, right up the middle. On that one, that's the speedster. Brock Perry on the carry has another first down. You kind of get the feeling maybe the modus operandi, they say, go quick, go hard.
Yeah, that's right, and that's exactly what they're doing. And it's getting physical, it's getting chippy, and another first down there for Desert Hills.
Ball out to the 42-yard line where it is 1st and 10. Fly sweep to the right side. And trying to turn the corner, does turn the corner, gets it upfield. That is Bo Barbin, and I think it might be the first carry. And now it's getting very chippy, and there come the flags out, shoving and pushing going on. And chippy's a good word, I guess. They're ticked off at each other out there right now.
Yeah, and it's been the last several plays. There's been pushing and shoving and a little trash talking. And I think if you're on the Hurricanes side, you're thinking, hey, at least there's a sign of life here. We're competing and we're playing with an attitude here. But you obviously don't want it to go too far to the point that there's flags. But good to see Bo Barbin get it on the jet sweep. They've struggled to find him throwing the ball. He's a great possession receiver, but showed some speed there around the right edge.
They got it out to the 46-yard line in Hurricane territory, so it was enough for a first down, but now we're waiting for the guys in stripes to kind of work this all out. And why do I think we're going to see a call going both ways again? Well, we'll have to see. They may determine one guy initiated it, and it's an unsportsmanlike against the Thunder. same thing against the Tigers. So that's kind of what I thought would happen.
Yeah, good call. They're shoving on both sides, and that's been the case for the last few plays. We see the replay here. Barban gets around the edge. Brock Perry plays the role of blocker this time. And, one of the unsung kind of heroes of this offense, Keena Taufa for Desert Hills, man, he puts a hat on guys as the lead blocker. He's nice to have for guys like Brock Perry, and one of the most physical guys on the field night in and night out for the Thunder.
Yeah, Wes Christiansen, one of the guys involved out there. It went both ways. You're absolutely right, but I think what got it started is it might even have been a late hit across the way. But it was not called by the officials. And so now we have the ball at the 46. It's a first down at that point. I thought it was a first down prior to that. So here we go. 8:25 remaining. And Nephi Sewell keeps it himself. Just a straightforward run. Once again, a flag flies, and I think we're going to get another call. There it is, a personal foul against the Thunder.
And one of the rare times we've seen Noah get a straight ahead, just power run with a blocker ahead of him. That's Brock Perry blocking for him, and he's quick as a cat. But once again, flags, whether it's holding, personal foul penalties, I don't know how many we've had in a row here, Mike, but getting sloppy here in the third quarter.
It is getting sloppy, and this is where, you want to see your guys fired up. You want to see them involved in the game, but there's a point you reach, and maybe we're seeing that right now because the Thunder have called timeout, and he's called them over to the side, and I think this is guys, now we have to play smart too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're up 21-0, you're marching down the field, and whether, it's being instigated or not, you got to keep your head, because in a game that's closer, this is going to happen again. I mean, in Region 9 games, there's going to be close. They're physical games. There's a lot of emotion, and you can't allow that to submarine a drive, as Desert Hills seems to be doing now, 2nd and long coming up. And, in a different situation, this could really come back to bite them.
All right, thanks to our sponsors, including Ron's Boulevard Shell, with over 37 years of experience. They'll take care of your car 7 days a week. That's Ron's Boulevard Shell, the complete full service station. You can call 656-1350. They'd love to have you just stop by. That's Ron's Boulevard Shell. All right, thanks again for joining us. Appreciate all of our sponsors, and thanks to the guys in the truck. Excellent job once again tonight helping us with our broadcast. We get to see a lot on the replays of what happened. I know for the folks listening on radio, you're going, hey, I didn't see that anywhere, but we get to see it helps us on the call. So 8:17 to go, and a delay handoff. Nothing there. Look at that. Boy, unwilling to go down. And I tell you what, this Brock Perry, he's got to be about as wiry and mean as they come, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if he wrestles, but he would make a great wrestler, because Shane Farnsworth here, the linebacker, grabs him by the jersey, tries to fling him down, and Brock just keeps going. Look at that. His legs just keep going all the way around 360 degrees. And it takes a couple more Tigers to come in and fling them down to the ground.
So they finally put the ball down at the Thunder 47-yard line. 3rd and 17. Nephi Sewell swings the pass out complete. And the catch is made, nearly breaking away. That's Bo Barban. He'd have had a huge gainer, but the defense hung on to his leg, and he gets it down inside the 45 to the 43, and that sets up a 4th down and about 7 yards to go. And I think they are going to bring the punter in, I think. No, they're not. They're going to go for it as they send double wide to the right side and a slot receiver over there as well. Single wide to the left. Sewell out of the gun, rolls back, has time, gets a beautiful block. Sewell has room, busts the first down, hurdles a man, still on his feet, down to the 20, to the 15, 5, 10, or the 10, 5. Touchdown. I got to learn how to count.
Holy cow, that may have been the best play I've seen all year, and it looks like it might be coming back. Another flag.
Oh.
Holy cow. And I think it's because of the hurdle, which we saw a kid got away with a couple weeks ago at Salem Hills, but it looks like they might throw it on Noah as he gets it going right. It was a pass play, got a good block from his brother, and then just
That's
quick as a cat.
hold.
Oh, they're
Well,
calling a hold. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
They just indicated he did hurdle the guy.
Yeah.
I got to say that, but the official come out and just gave the hold, and that'll bring it back.
That is too bad because that would have been one of the plays of the night for sure.
No doubt about it.
And, yeah, I was anticipating a hurdle call, but that hold has been killing them all night long.
Second touchdown called back for Desert Hills as we had a long run by Brock Perry called back. Now a beautiful run by Noah Sewell. Now it is fourth down and about 4 yards. And they're going to go for it again. Last time, I think it was set up to run, or maybe just an option. But, boy, once he got out, he realized, I got a lot of green out here. I'm headed. Sewell out of the gun. Double wide out either side. Back. Gets a nice block, and then he gets taken down. Back of the 46-yard line. That's probably the best guess defensive-wise that the Tigers have made. I think they kind of knew he wasn't going to do anything, and they got to him in a hurry. It's a three-step drop, and he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's Farnsworth back there bringing him down, but Olekin was there as well. Great response after giving up that big play. The penalty kills Desert Hills, and then Hurricane capitalizes.
So again, that was a fourth down, so they turn it over. Tigers take over now on their own 46-yard line. Best setup, I think, as far as field position tonight. I want to remind you, extra points tonight brought to you by Therapia Addiction Healing Center. Get extra help in battling addictions in life. Find Therapia online, therapia.net. And caught behind the line of scrimmage, quarterback Adam Hayren loses a yard. Second down now, 11 yards to go.
I like the play call. He's got to go through at least one or two fakes before he throws it, but the coverage was there. I mean, the Thunder somehow are able to play the run so well, and then even on first down have guys ready to defend the pass, and that was just great coverage and great defense once again by that defensive line.
Clock running with 5:39 to go. I'm hoping for at least 4 more points so we can get that nice dessert. Straight ahead run, good for about 5 yards, but that'll leave them still a good 6.5 yards to go for the first. They're going to mark it down right on the 50-yard line. So they gave them a good gainer of about 6, and that'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Every yard has been difficult for Hurricane tonight. They were able to convert a first down last series, but it was on a short yardage situation. 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 is, you know, for this offense, a very tough conversion, and I think their best option is just go with Cordova maybe once, maybe twice at this point of the field.
Well, let's see. They bring him up, and they turn. They hand the ball straight ahead. You called it. And he's going to be just short, however. The first mark puts him, well, the mark on the near side, he got a better mark, and I think it's a first down. The official across the way marked it just barely inside the 45. Now I believe they're going to call the chains out and say, okay, we're going to take a closer look at this one.
And once again, really close for Cordova's had a couple of those tonight, and you know, Coach Pearson hasn't had the opportunity to do his 4th and short hard count because Coach Frankie called a timeout last time, but we'll probably see that coming up and for sure going for it at this point with his score finally in plus territory for the first time of the game for the Hurricane Tigers.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Southwest Diesel. For 40 years, Doug and Darren have been there when you need a fix. Southwest Diesel, the originators of high performance for diesel engines. They did get the first down, and by about the same margin as the first time. about 6 or 4 inches of the football. So it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers inside the 45, inching up on the 44-yard line. And more importantly, they keep this drive alive. And with 4:21 to go in the third quarter, they frankly need some points on the board.
Absolutely, and it's just going to have to be nickel and diamond down the field, 3 or 4 yards a carry.
Hand off, looking for room. Ball comes loose. I believe Cordova got back on it for the Tigers. He did. The ball popped loose and came back, but fortunately for the Tigers, Cordova was right there for the pickup.
I think that's Peyton Pace. He's been feisty all night long, got a sack, had a couple. That would be his second fumble, forced fumble, but neither one Desert Hills has been able to get on. But coming off that right side for that Desert Hills defense, he is fast and he's aggressive and goes right at the ball. Very heady player there for Coach Frankie.
But it was a loss of about half a yard, so now it's 2nd down. We'll call it 10.5 yards to go. As up the middle, again Cordova, and they're going to the guy. He's the bread and butter man up the middle. He's had a couple of good carries tonight, and they need him now, obviously, to step it up. He picks up about 6 yards, so it's 3rd and 5, I think.
And he's had 3, 4, 5 carries really good in a row. Really, this whole second half, he's running with fire and breaking tackles and putting him into a position once again to maybe just give it to him and let him convert it himself.
Of course, with this style, which Hurricane runs pretty well, it takes a lot of time off the clock, so it's burning clock as well. Handoff, looking to the second man through, diving but not near enough for the first down. That looked like Wolfgram, I think, on that carry. It was. They faked to Cordova and then turned and handed it off to Wolfgram.
Yeah, you wonder why that play doesn't work well, because you got to be expecting Cordova, and then they give it to Wolfgram, but it doesn't matter because Desert Hills just has such great gap control up front. Even if you call a great play, it might not work.
Well, it is 4th down now, and still about 3-4 yards to go. Big play right now for the Tigers. They definitely want to keep this drive alive. And looks like Tigers were trying a little hard count there. Didn't get it. Nobody moved, so they have to call the timeout. We'll take it with them. 1:52 to go in the quarter. 21-0. Desert Hills back in a minute.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul.
Estimated time, 47 hours.
They will beg.
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
They will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
Hi, welcome back. 1:52 to go here in the quarter. Big play on the way. 4th and about 4 yards to go. Tigers hand it off up the middle, and it depends on the mark. It's going to be very close once again as the officials turn, look. They'll put it down, look back over at the chains and say, first down.
Good for Jaron Cordova. Gotta feel good for this kid, how hard he's battling for every single inch. His knees never on the ground, laying on a couple of his own guys and stretching it over, and they gave him that spot for the first down.
We're just seeing, I think, some very good things for the Tigers. Their backs have been against the wall since about midway through the second quarter. We're nearly through the third quarter. They haven't put points on the board, but as we said at the beginning of the half, they're showing anyway that they can move the football. handoff. I think Tyler Moore on the carry. He was bouncing around looking for a couple of yards, and that might be about all he got. Now an injured player for Desert Hills. Young man getting up, holding on to an arm or a wrist. Says, ow, that hurt.
And I think that's middle linebacker Koa Afualu, who is right in the middle of it every single play at that middle linebacker position.
Boy, he's in some pain
Yeah.
right now, too. We won't speculate because we don't know what's wrong. Get any updates, Andy, on any of the other scores? I haven't had a chance to even look here tonight. I don't know. We've got 3 other games going on in the region. 2 in the region, 1 non-region. He's doing a mad search right now to see if we've got any updates on that.
It looks like end of the third quarter. Dixie 7 or 105 left. Oh, my phone just died, Mike. Look at that.
Oh, my
Didn't even
gosh.
see the score.
And
Horrible
he
timing.
teased us with that even. Now we're watching a replay right now of that last play, but can't see much more and don't know what the injury was. They're still working on the young man.
Looks like Koa's walking off the field, getting a round of applause here, but still holding up his left arm.
Is
Yeah.
indeed. Oh, we hope that that's not a serious injury of any kind. So with 1:08 to go in the quarter, it'll be back to live action. Second down now and about 8 yards to go. Here as we get it down to the end of the third quarter. They restart the clock now after that injury timeout. This is a time where either the Tigers show we can get something done, or where the Thunder said, we own this one. Let's see what happens. Drop back, want to go to the air, nobody to go to, and the ball goes down to the turf with the quarterback.
And it's Peyton Pace and Carter Reynolds. That, he looks like a little defensive back, but he is so tenacious off that end. Goes through on the inside shoulder of the tight end, and it's just right up in the face of the quarterback.
Yeah, and that's tough because he had no time.
Yeah.
And that's been the problem tonight. When they must go to a pass play, they really haven't had the up-front blocking to give that quarterback Hayron time to even look downfield. Same thing there, a loss of a couple. Back to third now and 10 with just seconds remaining in the quarter. And they try it up the middle, and you kind of feel like Desert Hill says, we know what's coming this time. And that was basically tried up the gut, ended up with nothing. That's the end of the third quarter. We will take the break. At the end of 3 score stays, 21-0. Desert Hills back with a fourth in a minute.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. My name is Harvey Lauer. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
All right, welcome back. It is fourth down, 10 yards to go, and it is 1 quarter to go. 21-0. All 21 points have come in the second quarter. None in the first, none in the third. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. Rolling back, Hayron wants to go to the air. He winds up, lets it go deep, got a man down there, and they're going to have, I'm pretty sure, defensive pass interference, and that will probably give them that big first down they needed. Wow, that's a huge call.
Absolutely, and a really good job there by Eli Pert getting open, forcing the defensive back. I think that was the safety, number 28, Cooper Kenny, who had to just try to throw his body in front of the pass and get the PI call.
Yeah, he realized he was beat, so he just kind of kept bumping and moving, and two officials back there stopped. That moves the ball all the way to the 20-yard line. That puts them right on the edge of the Red Rock Real Estate red zone. In the red zone, looking to score a beautiful home in southern Utah. Call your hometown realtors with Red Rock Real Estate. They won't fumble. All right, here we go. Seconds in to this fourth quarter. Now the Tigers, their best scoring opportunity, just inside the 20-yard line, where it is first down, 10 yards to go. Crossing pattern, second man through, and got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. I believe that was Tyler Moore. Moore has been bottled up completely tonight.
Yeah, he absolutely has on the counter, and it's Peyton Place again, and it was pretty well designed, and they had a blocker on pace, but he just dives back forward and gets Moore on the legs and brings him down for no gain.
They're going to a little more. At least we're seeing some attempted on some counter plays.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen many options, but anytime they go to the pass play, Desert Hill says nothing happening there. This time up the middle, they do break through, getting a couple of yards. Well, I think that was that's the big guy. Jared Cordova picks up 6-7 yards. Now 3rd and 3.
And really, that's the only play all night that has worked for him. When they try to go counter, as you said, or try to get the outside, give it to Moore off tackle, goes nowhere. But every once in a while, a quick hit right up the middle to Cordova will get them where they want to go. And now they got a 3rd and manageable.
Another big 3rd down coming up, although this is definitely 4-down territory. As again, Hayron, the pitch back, and they get that one to Wolfgram. Wolfgram turns. And looks like I think he got the first down, didn't he?
Yeah,
just
I think he
inside
did. Yeah.
The 10?
Yeah, first down, and really the first option we've seen from Hurricane tonight. And, that means that you don't have to block, Carter Reynolds, who's a really good defensive end. You can leave him unblocked, use your numbers advantage, and they got just enough for the first down at Wolfgram.
You could almost, we can't see it in the eyes from here, but I was going to say, you almost felt like you could see that defense go, hey! He optioned that one. That's the first one tonight. Now, another timeout called for by Desert Hills Thunder as they want to talk things over. So let's sneak in, if I can say it, a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back. 21-0 Desert Hills.
There is a place where rocks bleed and nature blushes on a battlefield green with envy, where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where friends are opponents, and opponents are friends, where the prize is elusive, the conquest is captivating, and the score isn't settled till the drinks are down. There is a place.
Mike and Andy back with you here once again. Desert Hills High School, 10:09 to go in the ball game. On the scoring side, it's been all Desert Hills. Right now, however, the Hurricane Tigers with their best opportunity of the night. They have it first and goal from about the 9-yard line. And I'm not sure this is their first trip into the red zone, but one of the very, very few here tonight. Tigers, let's see what they can do. Adam Hayrand comes back, and boy, again, they try that middle, and the defense was ready for that one that time. They stopped Jaron Cordova dead.
Yeah, you'd think, in the red zone, maybe, Desert Heroes going to put 8-9 guys in the box in a condensed field and bring their safeties up. Maybe you could beat them on the edge, but they just haven't been able to do that tonight. I don't blame them for just going to Cordova maybe 1, 2, 3, all 4 times tonight, because that's been the only time they've been able to gain yards.
Well, he got about a yard, so it is now 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line as they bring him up again. Adam Hayrand up under center. Takes a snap, turns, rolls, wants to go to the air. Now looks in trouble, and he is hit from behind and brought down. He did get a couple of yards down around the 5-yard line. Or is it, right near the 5-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and goal.
And I like the action on this one, Mike. It's a rollout. He doesn't have to worry about making 2 fakes. Get him out of the pocket because he's going to have somebody on him if he stays there. And at least he's able to make positive yardage and not get sacked when he sees that nobody's open.
Yeah, but making sure he goes down with Carter Reynolds out there. And he gets close, and it's like he just flies at him.
Yeah, he is so fast for a big, tall kid.
So
hard to get around.
3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Tigers still looking for their first score. And the inside handoff gets nothing. Stacked up right at the 5-yard line. Boy, they were ready. That center of the line, maybe 1 out of 5 tries might get a couple of yards, but that's about it.
Yeah, big number 70 you see there on your camera. Corbin Penrod, one of the big guys up front at the nose guard position.
And watching to see what Tigers are going to do. They're going to set up for a field goal.
Wow.
Kind of interesting. I don't know. Do you say, well, they think, well, we're going to need the experience, the try. And we want something on that board. As the Tigers have it, it's going to be about a 21, 22-yarder. Snap is back. The kick is up. It looks good, and it is. And the Tigers finally get something on the board, even though they had to settle for the 3-point field goal. Take a break, 60-second break on the way. 21-3, Desert Hills back in 1.
Por las cosas que nos pueden mantener seguros. Y ahora, las que llevamos con nosotros ofrecen alertas inalámbricas de emergencia. Por medio de un sonido y vibración particular, estarás al tanto donde quiera que estés.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. There is a place.
Eight minutes and 12 seconds to go in the game. The kick is deep, and it goes out of bounds. So that'll bring it out to the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Desert Hills. And Desert Hills, again, right now can make a huge statement. If they can play ball control, Andy, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, and they haven't chosen to play that sort of game through the first 3 quarters. They were trying to see if they can throw down the field and see if Noel can connect with some of his receivers. But I think they're capable of really draining, I don't know, Mike, 5, 6, maybe it all with a long, methodical drive here, eating up the clock. We'll see if they choose to go that route.
They put the ball down at about the 27, but now I think they realized that, whoops, that belongs out there at the 35-yard line. By the way, we say ball control, but I think most of the fans, and I know Andy and I, hope they go for a touchdown. We want that 25 points out there so we can get our delicious dessert. And we certainly appreciate our great sponsors. stepping forward. Thank you very much. Holbrook Asphalt Big Score Dessert. That is 5 ounces free yogurt at Yogurtland. Well, first attempt ends up empty there, so it remains second down. 10 yards to go. They bring the ball back to the 35-yard line.
Pretty good play there by Ray Cordova. He's had a couple deflections and broken up passes tonight. Probably not expecting a throw on first down, but was ready for it. Got right up in there and knocked the ball away.
Second down, 10 yards to go from the 35. 8:06 to go in the ball game. 21-3 now. As Sewell, they're going to go to the air again. Sewell, now he takes off 40 up to the 45. Levels one of the defenders. Picks up the first down and a couple more. That's almost unfair to have a fast quarterback that big and strong.
It is. He's quick as a cat, and that's a big old cat. And Wolfgram comes up to try to make the tackle, and Noah Sewell is 2 Wolfgrams, and he made him pay, lowering his shoulder there and giving the crowd quite a show tonight when he pulls down the ball and runs with it.
Yeah, the defense did a pretty good job of giving him no help right there. Boom. That was something. He was going in for the kill, and he got killed there. Ball's right at the 50-yard line. Handoff straight ahead. Tripped up, however. Brock Perry, he might have had a few yards on that carry, but as he made his cut, he kind of tripped, fell forward for a 2-yard gain to the 48. Clock is running, though, with 7:37 to go in the game. And a fair-sized crowd. Actually not a bad showing across the way from the Hurricane Tigers. They're obviously a little disappointed so far in the outcome of this one. Third down, about 8 yards to go. On the fly sweep, they fake to give it to him. Sewell keeps it himself, and he blasts down inside the 30-yard line.
And he is taking it himself. He gave up a lot of those reads in the first half. This one takes it all the way down for another first down, runs into his own blocker with full force. I'm surprised that kid jumped right up after this collision. You can see it here on the replay as he lowers his shoulder, goes into the back of one of his wide receivers.
And wide receiver go, whoa, where'd you come from? If you're wondering, they list him at 6 foot, 240 pounds. The kid's a sophomore.
Holy cow.
He's a tough one. That's a big run. So inside the 30-yard line, the 29, 1st and 10 once again. Out of the gun. Again, send somebody on the fly. Now we have all kinds of movement. And looks like we have, too much movement prior to the snap. That'll cost the Desert Hills Thunder 5 yards. 6:45 as we look up on the Air Care Professionals clock. That's time remaining. Clock stopped on the penalty. Now they restart it. Sewell has, I believe, Brock Perry behind him. He wants to go to the air. He floats it over the middle. Wide open. Touchdown.
And that is Tate Danos coming open on the post. And, you know, Coach Frankie wants to see his offense develop in all aspects. You could say, hey, just run it out here. But he wants to develop this young quarterback heading into region play, this being the first one of the season. And he finds a nice little touch pass over the middle. Danos comes open on the post. Good delivery, this time right on the numbers. And Danos juggles it just a little bit, pulls it in for the score.
Wow. And, boy, I tell you what, number one, dessert, folks, for everybody.
Yeah,
now.
most important.
All right, got that out of the way. Number two, I think that's the best touch pass we've seen him throw tonight. And number one, it shows he can do that. And I think you're right. I think he needs to do that more to get him to feel good about being able to hit those receivers like that. So they get it over, plus the point after, and improve the lead up now to 28-3. And let me talk about that, dessert, because you can pick it up on the way home tonight. because Desert Hills got 25 or more. Yogurtland will give you 5 ounces of free yogurt. That is the Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert at Yogurtland. Stop by and ask for that. Say, hey, my team got 25 or more points. Let's enjoy it. If you want to add more and go whole hog, have at it tonight. Shouldn't say hog when I'm talking about people eating, should I? Go all the way. How about that one? All right. So turn it around, and I think that was a huge, in a lot of ways. They got the pass, plus they answered the final scoring. I mean, Hurricane finally got some points, but right back come Desert Hills, and they put more on the board. Kick, this one a little bit shorter, comes down about the 12-yard line, returned up to about the 20-yard line. I think that was Wolfgram on the carry. Grabbed the ball, moved it forward. Now the Tigers will really have to go to work, but the hole's a little bit deeper now. It's a 25-point margin.
Been impressed with the fight, especially in the second half of Hurricane. We'll see how they keep responding with only 6 minutes left, down 25 points here to Desert Hills.
Defense at Desert Hills has done just outstanding work tonight, and I assume they'll continue to be able to do that. They really have put the kibosh on that middle of the line. We mentioned that Cordova a couple of times has got some yardage, but by and large, he's been bottled up. And, boy, poor Tyler Moore. He's just, they got his number tonight.
Absolutely.
This time up the middle. It's good for about 4, almost 5 yards on the carry. So Hurricane says, hey, we know what we can do best, and we're going to continue to do that.
Yeah, Cordova's had a heck of a night, even if it's just 3-4 yards of carry. Not sure what his final stats will be, but, you know, comparing Region 9 teams, I guess you could say Dixie's has looked great in their out-of-season stuff, but against Tooele, a team very similar to Hurricane, they gave up a bunch of yards and 35 points. This run defense for the Thunder has proven maybe they could be the best in the region this year.
Yep. Looking for the first down, got close. I'm not sure if they quite made it, but they're right up around the third. Well, looking at the man on the near sideline, I would say they just got the first down. Wait and see as they put the ball down. And they're going to mark it right on the line. I thought that was enough to give it to them. I guess they needed another half yard. So it is third and up to maybe a yard on the carry. Ball on the 30. Looking for room, and they got the first down this time as they break it across that right side of the line. And again, this is good. It gets them going. It gives them a little confidence, but it certainly doesn't bring you back into a ball game.
Right, yeah, exactly. And I think they've kind of realized that this one's probably over, but we're going to, when they kicked the field goal, that was kind of their saying, we at least want to get points up, if not try to come back and win the game. But Wolfgram fighting pretty well tonight when he's gotten his shots. A first down conversion it looks like Starley's coming in at quarterback.
All right, 4:40 to go in the ball game. As, again, the ball was loose, but it was held onto by the Hurricane Tigers. That time it was Tyler Moore once again on the carry. Boy, his body language said this has been a long night, folks.
Yeah, and I don't blame him because, after 3 really good kind of coming out games for him in the preseason, region play comes, and it's kind of a new reality for the burgeoning star here for the Hurricane Tigers.
Picked up 2 yards. You saw on the replay there, he was a little disappointed when he went down. He took the ball, slammed it into the ground. It popped loose. That's what the reaction of the defense was, but it was already down. So second down, about 8 yards to go. And again, that handoff goes up the middle, but the Desert Hills defense says, nah, we kind of got you covered right here. So a very, very short gain. The ball's up to the 40-yard line. That'll set up third and about 7 yards to go. By the time running down, only 3.5 minutes to go in this one. Again, you can get that dessert. Thank you very much to Desert Hills. Got the 25 plus. They actually have 28. Again, they're just going to the quick handoffs into the line. And it picks up another couple, but it'll be 4th down. And you would assume they're going to punt this away. They don't want to hand the ball back on their half of the field to this team from Desert Hills. And Desert Hills says, we'll take it. 2:48 to go in the game. Hey, we'll be back on the air next week once again. Another couple of games. And tonight on our sister station, it was Dixie Snow Canyon. We lost our feed to the scores, so you'll find out because all that information's coming up next on the wrap-up show.
Looks like Logan Wilstead, the backup quarterback for Desert Hills, was warming up. We'll see if he gets to go in for a few plays here to close this one out for Desert Hills.
Well, now a timeout is taken by the Tigers. They trotted their punting team out, said let's go for it, then they pulled them back and call a timeout. So as we set it up once again, right now, of course, going into tonight's action, everybody was 0-0 in the region. Right now, Desert Hills has guaranteed themselves of at least a tie with a couple of other teams in this one. The last we heard, it was very close between Dixie and Snow Canyon. And didn't Canyon View had a narrow lead over Cedar?
Yeah, last we saw, which was, before halftime.
Right, so we don't know what the end result was, but are you going to join once again on the wrap-up show,
I'll
Andy?
join on the wrap-up show. We'll have Paul and Rustin lead out that first segment while I get to power, get my phone fired up.
There
here.
you go.
At any time, they can jump in and update us on the scores if they have any.
Yep. All right, they are going to punt the ball. It's away, taking it the 25 to the 30. Gets a nice block to the outside to the 40. Spins away, but then is forced out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. So taking over Desert Hills with 2:03 to go in the game. They've got it on their own 45-yard line. And checking it out. See, they make the change in quarterback. They did, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yep.
It looks like Wilstead did get the call in, and Colton Matson, one of the fastest kids on the team, had a 50-something odd yard run against Salem Hills. He does have a knee brace on tonight. We'll see if he's at full strength, if he gets a carry.
Well, hold everything. New QB in there. Little different count, apparently. Some movement. So that'll cost them 5 yards. They'll have to back it up just a bit. Logan Wilstead, he too is just a sophomore. Boy, you look down the line, you say, Desert Hills got some good kids coming along, or it's going to be there for a couple more years. They're losing quite a few seniors. By the way, as they work the far side, boy, that is Madsen. And he gets a big gainer, has the first down into Hurricane territory at the 42-yard line. I was just going to say, you haven't heard the name of Gavin Young. He was out tonight. He was injured.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And, had a torn labrum or something. I didn't write it down, but and talking to the coach prior to that, so he was out for tonight anyway. So it's 1st and 10. Handoff, looking for room, got a little bit, crosses the 40 down to the 37-yard line. And right now you're pretty sure that Desert Hills is just going to run that clock out.
Yeah, Kina Taufa gets a carry, a kid that has had to block for about 90% of the plays. Good to see him get a shot at carrying the ball.
Yeah, he's probably going, thank you. 1:10 to go in the ball game. Out of the gun. Trying to sweep. No, not much there this time for Colton Madsen. He was brought down behind the line of scrimmage back at the 40, but it's just kind of a case of, okay, under a minute to go in the game. So it will be Desert Hills getting back even on the season at 2-2, but more importantly, going 1-0 in the region.
Yeah. And, this Colton Madsen kid getting some carries. That time he went down, but he's a senior, And I'm sure Coach Frankie would like to see him kind of prove himself a little bit more in situations like this to spell Brock Perry in the future.
Now we had apparently some more movement. Jumping around a little bit was Taufa, as not sure what it was. It looked like he may have just jumped right before the snap and wasn't set. So the flag was thrown. That'll cost him 5. And they're trying to decide where to put the football. The official across the way is talking with the coaching staff from Hurricane. Figured out, folks. There's only 22 seconds left. It's an illegal shift. That's what I thought. So they put the ball down. It was actually refused. That's what they did and said, let's just run with it here, folks. Restart the clock, and this will be the final play of the game, barring a penalty or a score or something. And diving down near the 20-yard line, that looked pretty good on that carry.
Yeah, he did, and for a second he probably thought, I'm going to score here, and then the last thing he said, no, I'll just go ahead and run this guy over and take the last play of the game as a first down.
They'll stop the clock for the setting of the change. Now they started, but that's it. Game over. Final seconds roll off, and it's official, Andy. Desert Hills, frankly, kind of did what was anticipated.
Yeah, I think very expected. Not the cleanest win for a Coach Frankie team, but they showed they got the big play capability, and most importantly, that they could stop the run. And a very frustrating and discouraging loss for Hurricane as they go down 28-3.
All right, we'll take a 90-second break. We'll come back, jump into our post-game show, do a quick wrap. We'll take a look at some honors, and then we'll get it back into the studio. That's when we kick off the complete wrap-up show tonight as we bring you all the scores from all the games in the region. Our final tonight, Desert Hills 28, Hurricane 3 on the one-loss scoreboard, back in 90.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
You made your house a reality. Homeschooling yourself on loans, color-coding listings, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. If you can ace house hunting, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
There is a place where looking out means looking in, where an impression lasting only a few seconds will be imprinted on a life forever, where courage is forged and innocence rediscovered, where remembering is rewarding and forgetting unforgettable. There is a place where truth is felt and where seeing is believing. There is a place.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
All right, welcome back. This is the post-game show. Thank you very much. Johnson Pediatric Dentistry. They do a great job. They are great sponsors. Dr. Cody Johnson and staff. They do make your kids feel right at home, and you'll find out why so many are choosing Johnson Pediatric. 6280511. Well, a very kind of an interesting game. There was nothing at the end of one, and I started to think, well, I don't know, maybe. But 21 points by Desert Hills in that second quarter, and quite honestly, it was some miscues by Hurricane that set that up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hurricane defensively had very little margin for error. I felt like Desert Hills had the capability of scoring 40, 50 points potentially on this team, but they had miscues themselves, holding penalties all night long and offsides and unsportsmanlike conduct. So the Thunder have got to clean that up before they go into playing Snow Canyon next week. But talent-wise, I mean, this Noah Sewell kid, my first time seeing him in person, he can wing it, like you were saying, Mike, effortlessly throwing it 45, 50 yards. He can run it as well. He does everything for the Thunder.
I'm with you. That's my first time to actually see him in action this year. He's a very impressive kid. And I think the fact that he's so young, he'll just get better and better. I think the running is there. His desire is there. Maybe a little more touch on that pass. And he's got it made. All right, we will be naming here our Playmaker Play of the Game, brought to you by Appliance Wholesalers Plus. We'll name our Player of the Game, thanks to Dats Trucking. And then Jimmy John's in the Super Sub of the Game. And if you're listening, hey, you might want to work your way down there to Yogurtland, because the Big Score dessert is up and running. The Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert, 25 points or more, and they got it tonight, 5 ounces. Yogurt dessert, absolutely free. All right, well, I don't know, Andy, where do we look? We kind of actually talked about it. I think a couple of guys stood up, but I kind of think that at reality it's kind of an easy call tonight. Brock Perry, I think, probably should be our Dats Trucking Player of the Game.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. You know, Noah had a great game. Some of the other receivers made big plays, but it was consistently, I should say, Brock Perry on that stretch play around the side, which is winning, and also catching the ball in the backfield. I don't know how you guard that wheel route with a linebacker. He's one of the quickest kids in the region. That went for a big score early in the game for Desert Hills. Yeah, Brock Perry, I totally agree.
And Brock Perry actually ran, what was about a 60-yarder that was called back. That didn't count, so you had to take one off the board for him. And as we look at also the Playmaker Play of the Game, and thanks again to AWP, they are also the number one playmakers in the appliance business. Well, I don't know, that wheel route went to Brock Perry was a big one. I think either of the other two plays that were called back, I'll be honest, I would have, I think, named the run by Noah Sewell.
Yes.
That
was one of the most amazing plays I've seen a high schooler make. He weaved it out of traffic, leaped over a standing Hurricane player, but there was a holding penalty. That would have been mine for sure if we could give it to a flag play.
But we can't, or we won't at least this time. So with your permission, maybe let's go back to that beautiful little wheel route to Brock
totally
Perry.
agree. That was a beautiful touch pass. And he had, Noah had a couple ones that he missed, but he also had that post pass to Danos. It was a great touch pass, but that wheel route right to Brock Perry's numbers for the touchdown, that was one of the best passes of the night.
All right, the Super Sub of the Game to me is kind of a hard one, because it's not every game, very honestly, that we get a guy that's going to step in and absolutely substitutes. But I think we have guys that step up, maybe do things that they haven't done before, or they just do some big plays. And I think that there are some guys that could kind of get the Super Sub of the game. And I don't know if you've got anybody in mind on that one. I was trying to think of, defense. God, I almost want to cop out and say, give it to the defensive line down there for crying out loud.
Absolutely. I would totally agree with that. Guys like Corbin Penrod and big number 55 number 53, Nyapalusu for Desert Hills, and Kobe Rogers as the nose tackle. Those guys made it impossible for Hurricane to gain any yards. I would have no problem giving it to the whole group, that big defensive line.
I think it's well deserved. They only gave up 3 points tonight, and that came late in the game. So nicely done there. So there you have it. There is our post-game honors. Congratulations again as Brock Perry, our player of the game. That little wheel route from Noah Sewell to Brock Perry as our Playmaker Play of the Game. And just because they deserve it, the front four on that defensive line here tonight, I thought, and you said it, they just played a whale of a game here tonight. So we thank you for joining us, but we don't want you to go anywhere.
Yeah. Stay tuned for that Region and I wrap-up show. Sorry, I'm so excited, Mike. I cut you off there.
You're fine.
We got Paul, we got Rustin. They're going to lead out, do the first segment, and then I'll be calling in and joining them. We'll go through all the scores and giving away some awards ourselves and all of Region 9. Region 9 Wrap-Up Show brought to you by Findlay Volkswagen. They're on the saving side of the freeway.
All right, thanks to all of our great sponsors tonight. Again, congratulations, Desert Hills. They got the victory tonight, 28-3 over the Hurricane Tigers. That'll do it from us from here, but as Andy just said, a lot more sports coming your way. Thanks for joining us. Good night from us from Desert Hills High.